Okay, greetings, brothers and sisters. Get my screen together. All right, greetings, brothers and sisters. Tonight is November 26th, 2023. This is the Dr. Julius Nairi CBPM Division 421 in Atlanta division of the UNIA-ACL under the leadership of the Honorable Michael R. Duncan. My name is Brother John. I am the president for Division 421. And I don't know if I said the date, November 26, 2023. Tonight we will be, we'll have another special guest. Tonight's special guest is Brother Kamau. Brother Kamau will be talking to us about promotion for a recently released short film. And this short film is centered around our teacher, our leader, our founder, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. So wanted to invite Brother Kamau in tonight to the UNIA. There's a showing of the film that will be coming up shortly in December. I'll let Brother Kamau give us the exact date and location, as well as a link for us to be able to get tickets and support. But with that being said, we will officially open up our meeting with the pledge to the UNIA flag. So if you know the words, say along with me. If not, say along in spirit. I commit my body, well, hold on 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Put your black fist in the air, picture a red, black, and green flag in your mind, and say along with me. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
My mind, my spirit.
To the protection, defense, and security.
The protection, defense, and security.
Of the red, black, and green.
The red, the black, and the green.
I dedicate my life.
Dedicate my life.
To the redemption of Mother Africa.
To the redemption of Mother Africa.
And the liberation of her scattered Black children.
The liberation of her scattered Black children.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
Teaching of African nationalism.
And I promise that our children will be instilled.
And I promise that the children shall be instilled.
With the with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Until all Black people are free and united.
All Black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
I was doing good. Race first. I was doing good till I tried to look at the words. I should have just kept. Got to be confident. So we have the call to order, quorum for the meeting. We've just gone through the pledge to the UNIA flag. Next agenda item is roll call. I'll briefly go through the roll call, starting with our officers, and then I'll go into our members. And we like to have this up while I'm doing this. So participants. This allows us to keep track of officer participation as well. So from officer perspective, you have myself, Brother John, president. We have our lady president, Sister Ra Ebony. We have our treasurer, President Ross Marvin. First vice president absent. Second vice president, Brother Kenwardo, is on leave. He has an excused absence. Third vice president, Brother Cornelius, as well as Brother James, are absent. Sister Tania has stepped down. Sister Diane is not here. Sister Erica is not here. Attorney Imhotep is not here yet. Baba James is here. Thank you, Baba James, for being present. And Brother Art is here with us. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 officers. Looks like, did Brother Art drop off? Yeah, it looks like Brother Art dropped off. So
Brother
5.
Imhotep's here.
Okay, sorry, Attorney Imhotep. 6 officers. Sorry about that. Thank you, officers, for being present. In addition to our officers, we have our special guest, Brother Kamau. We have member number 324, Brother Amum Atgeb, out of the United Sabians. We have member number 394, Brother Benny, out of Jacksonville, Florida. We have member number 471, Brother Jalen, in Loganville, Georgia. We have Sister Bertha Rose. I don't have your member number off the top of my head, but I recall meeting you. Thank you for being here. Brother Malik and Sister Zafia. I believe that's sister. For a total of 14 participants on the call this evening. Takes care of roll call, ground rules. Anybody have the ground rules up and present? Sister Tania usually has this readily available. I don't have it readily available. I can speak to it off the top of my head, unless it's in the, let's check our Whirlwind Newsletter. Message from our President General. President Ross, I will get you those messages. I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself this week, but moving forward, I will provide that to you. Got the next study group updated. Thank you for that.
Okay, no problem.
I think we call it guidelines. There we go. So the rules to our Zoom meeting. This is a official UNIA meeting. Once we do the pledge, this becomes a sacred space. We ask everyone to respect that space and respect the chain of command that we have through myself as president, our lady president, as the chairman and chairwoman of the meetings. Number one, meeting is divided into different sections. So first, we will go over our topic for today. Second, we will have report from our officers. And then third, we will do member share. Be considerate. Do not go over your time when you have the floor. So we ask everyone to stay between 3 and 5 minutes, unless you have something critical, or if you give us a heads up, then we can give you more time. But we ask everyone to respect everyone's time on the call. You're always welcome to stay after the meeting if things further need to be discussed. And as I said, you can always request additional time. To ensure we can hear all speakers, keep your phone on mute when you are not speaking. This is our conference call instruction, so it's got 4 star to mute, but just mute, unmute the button when you have something to say. I would prefer if you raise your hand if you have something to say. Also prefer if you wait until the right time to ask questions and raise your hand. But we also request that you take notes so that when it is time for questions, you have those readily available. Number 6, so that's number 5. Have pen and paper available so you can take notes, save member contact information, make a list of things you would like to comment or ask questions about when it's your turn to speak. Number 6, there will be people on this call with different ideas, religions, and opinions than that of our own. It's okay to disagree, but we must not become disrespectful and nasty towards one another. sometimes we have to agree to disagree. So again, respect the space of the UNIA in honor of the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Ladies, number 7, ladies, do not give out your personal phone numbers during the conference call. Instead, give out your business number or email. Straightforward. And number 8, do not use the N-word during the call. Number 9, unwritten. We need to put it back up there. Enjoy yourselves, have a good time, and let's try to, have some fun as we make some progress and try to be productive. Okay, so that takes care of that. Just a couple more minutes, brother, come out and you will have the floor. So takes care of ground rules, roll call, pledge. Our topic for today is short film by the most honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey entitled Mosiah. And there will be a showing of this film coming up in early December here in Atlanta. We want to do the best that we can to support this film as best as possible. It's also an opportunity for us to share with the community that the UNIA is still alive and well. And if they are touched or inspired by what they saw in the film, they have an opportunity today to continue his work. So I will play the trailer. Well, there was something, wait a minute, there was something I saw that I wanted to read about the film when I was looking this up. I lost it. Trying to give you some time, brother, Kamau. So.
Yes, sir.
I think IMDb. I think that's what it was. No, this wasn't what it was. But yeah, director Gerard. That's one of the things we wanted to point out. Where's the? Okay, that's all they got. An intimate portrait of Marcus Garvey. Let's see. It's not the link that I had. First look, this is it because purple. That means I clicked on it. Okay, this will work. So overview is Brother Kamau, do you think Film Freeway is a legitimate source for the description of the film? I don't want to give a illegitimate source.
Well, I'm probably going to give a more thorough description of it. So, I mean, it would be a, fitting introduction of the film if you want to, but yeah, you don't really have, it's on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me, so 5 minutes and you'll be on. I'll read the director biography. Brother Gerard, co-founder of Dallas-based multimedia company, the DigiBees. Gerard is a multifaceted artist and award-winning filmmaker. He has directed music videos for a host of artists, including Avery Sunshine, Fred Hammond, and Eric Roberson. He has also lent his talents as a director of photography to several short and feature-length films. Mosiah will be his narrative directorial debut. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right thing. I'm not. I always do that. So I was reading this brother's biography. Short overview that they have of the film, and Brother Kamau will give us the legitimate overview. It says Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the Jamaican-born civil rights leader, so that's already questionable. Hold on, civil rights leader of the largest Black nationalist movement in history, takes a stand against 1920s racism and white supremacy as he defends himself in a court trial that threatens to unravel all that he has fought to achieve. This is the first ever narrative film about his life. So it's a 2-minute. Is this a good, you think this is a good one?
Yeah. The trailer, yeah.
Let me make sure I got my audio right. Sound.
It's time to unite our brothers and sisters across the country and sail to Africa. Liberia is calling us now.
And what happens when the government tries to stop us?
By the time they try it, it will already be too late.
They claim to uplift the Negro race, to persuade Negroes to buy shares of stock in the Black Star Line.
This trial is politically driven. They want to end the movement by assassinating my character.
By not taking the plea, you face a mandatory 5 years in prison.
Do you see any fear in my eyes?
Who does he think he is? Black Moses?
You'd better stop him quick. He's gonna tear this whole country apart.
How much longer will you endure the pain and suffering that this country places upon you? Dive down, black men, dive down and dig.
Told you I had high marks. You are not the first the system has tried to break, and you will not be the last. The future of our people relies on you.
Africa for the Africans!
Race first.
Yeah, Brother Kamau, I'll go ahead and open up the floor for you to follow up that
Okay.
introduction.
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, first, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to the mass meeting, to the online, Zoom meeting. As President, you and President Emeritus Ross Marvin, I'd like to first sing Father of all creation, Allah omnipotent, supreme over every nation. God bless our president. That's for you, and greetings also to President Michael Duncan, who couldn't be here with us today. I thank you all again for inviting me on to share a little bit about the film that's coming up. It's a golden opportunity for the division and for our movement for improvement in general, because it's going to give us a great opportunity to share the gospel of Garveyism with an audience that are waiting and wanting to learn more about the greatest story never told. The person who may also be able to get on the Zoom conference, the director, Gerard, is a beautiful brother. The writer of the script, who lives in Atlanta, Brother Sam Lee Fudge. He's also the one who plays the character of Marcus Garvey. Halima, the executive producer, and the whole cast, did I think a fantastic job. It's great cinematography, but there are limitations on the film, as you would expect in a short film. It's a narrative short, which makes it limited in the story it can tell. So everyone may walk out of there, man, I wish they would have shown this, I wish it would have shown that. But in reality, with limitations like that, and didn't exactly have a $500 million budget, so you won't see Denzel Washington saying, "Get your hands off me." But it will be a quality film, I assure you. Now, the film centers on the exoneration of Marcus Garvey, and is more of the trials and tribulations of Mr. Garvey and how he dealt with those. And I think there's an opportunity in there for us to dispel certain myths about the Garvey movement, at the same time kind of educate, the public through the film about the Garvey movement. Most of, the film starts with some of the early scenes of Mr. Garvey in some of his trials. Some of the scenes deal with him first being called the N-word by his one of his friends' father, who was a minister at the time. Shows scenes of his father, who was a community leader, teaching him some lessons about trust and organizing. That he would later inculcate into his life. It shows scenes later on of Mr. Garvey in the courtroom, even scenes with him in controversial scene with the KKK, where he attempted, because of what his association at the time was encountering with, we know about Malcolm X's father being, murdered by the Black Legion and other groups, but the KKK even coming on board one of the Black Star Lines and trying to rob, rob the ship. So there were incidents all over, where the UNIA and KKK had clashed. And so when Mr. Garvey was in Atlanta, was it Atlanta? I'm sorry, we was in the South, I'll say. I'm not exactly sure right now. It was in Atlanta. Okay. Yeah. When he was there, a member of the Klan had asked to interview him about the aims and objects and what his organization's purpose was. So he decided to give them an interview where he was as bluntly honest with them as he needed to be, and they with him as to what they thought. And he assured them, that we weren't interested in their women, and they better lose any interest they have in ours. And he made it plain. But anyway, some people have tried to make it seem like he went and joined the KKK and all that kind of nonsense. But anyway, this film is a series of reenactments or an interpretation of certain reenactments in the life of Mr. Garvey that are critical in us, again, sharing, the story with people who are not familiar in many ways with the UNIA and what Mr. Garvey actually stood. So it's an open up dialogue. Again, this is the first narrative short ever. There had been discussion since the 1920s of films. Even Oscar Micheaux had attempted to put a film together with Clarence Muse playing Marcus Garvey back in the 20s. That we're not sure ever materialized, but there was at least an effort. Then there was, another film that was based more on Chief Alfred Sam. I think that was in the 1940s, The Black Empire. Even though people thought that was Garvey, that certainly wasn't the life of Mr. Garvey or any persons or personalities in the life of Mr. Garvey, like his wife and others. So anyway, that's another misleading thing. And then, of course, in the 70s, 80s, Spike Lee was talking about doing a film. You had Susan DePass talking about doing a film. Moses Gunn was talking about doing a film. Everybody's always talking about doing a film on Mr. Garvey, but no one ever did. So finally, a brother who thought enough about Mr. Garvey to write a script, and a brother who thought enough about spending a lot of his own money, and working with a sister who also spent a lot of her resources to actually make something in this day and age where the attention span of our youth is so short. We really need something to grasp their attention and teach them about something that they otherwise wouldn't learn anything about. And so this medium of reaching out to the community, I think, was very critical. Again, like I say, the film has its limitations. So, if you came expecting a lot of pomp and pageantry, the budget couldn't afford it. But for what it did produce, I think it was quite useful. And, something that I think we can take full advantage of to do some recruiting and some organizing. If they want to know more, the film's limitation actually can be a blessing. So we'll teach them the rest. We'll show them how Mr. Garvey was as successful as he was and why they don't know anything about him, and what the deliberate effort, to discredit and decentralize the movement was all about, and why we need to resurrect that spirit in the program today, in this day and age. So again, I think it's a golden opportunity. It was shown in Detroit and was quite, well received, standing ovation. Chants of, one God, one name, one destiny rang out across the entire theater. It was tears in the eyes. It was a golden moment, to touch a lot of souls, and a lot of people, demanded the film come back and be, shown in different institutions and centers, across the city, and I think be a similar reaction in Atlanta with a writer and one of the actors from, as well as an executive producer. So again, this might be golden opportunity. Who knows? Maybe it'd be a budding filmmaker in the audience who may want to take this project to the next level. To see the reaction of Garveyites to finally having some semblance of respect shown our leader, because we know over the years we've seen a trillion slave films. Everything from Harriet Tubman and 12 Years a Slave and Emancipation and all these films. Somehow they always seem to jump over the 1910s, 20s, and 30s and 40s. Then they get to Emmett Till and Selma and King, Malcolm, and Central Park 5 and everything else, as if the greatest movement that ever lived, founded by the greatest leader that ever graced our race, just somehow didn't exist. And we just skip right on over that because they don't want to revisit that era. So anyway, I think it's important that we embrace and support the film, despite any limitations, you may find in it. And hopefully, we can demonstrate enough support for it that may motivate others to want to produce even greater works that honor Mr. Garvey, properly. So that'll be my initial presentation. If you all wanted to ask any questions about the film.
Yes, before anyone else, I wanted to make sure we had access to be able to support the film properly. Are you familiar with the, I guess, Peachtree Village Film Festival and how it's supposed to work for this film particularly?
Well, no, I'm not familiar with their process or anything. It'd be the first time I've come to the film festival, but I'm expected to come as well. I haven't made my final arrangements, but I am hoping to come there as well. Some other Garveyites from around the country.
Okay. Do you know what date the film showing all 3 days?
No. It's supposed to be on December 9th. It technically says 1:20, but we recommend folks are there for 1 o'clock. But it's supposed to be 1:20. I believe it's at the Central Library. It's different village sites, but they supposed to show different
Central Library.
Different days of the film. But far as I understand, the Central Library, 1 Margaret Mitchell Square, in Atlanta, is the site of it. And, tickets available online. Tickets are $5 for that particular show. But I think they have, if you wanted to see other films in the film festival, then you can buy a block of tickets. So they have different kinds of discounts. And I did want to mention too, and that's kind of off topic a little bit, but as the pledge was being recited earlier, which I'm glad we did. Many don't know there were actually 3 women who wrote the pledge. I think it was 1971 or 72. But it was 2 of those 3 have since passed, and I was just recently speaking with one of the writers, kind of explaining to her that we recently lost a elder Garveyite who was founding president of Division 330 of the UNIA back in 1980, Baba Oduno Tariq. Some of you all may have come to Washington and seen our defiant, self-reliant giant that stood 6'9" and was responsible for organizing not only that division, but divisions across the globe when he worked with the Honorable Charles L. James as President General many years ago. But we gave him a proper home going, and we're going to do another one soon. But yeah, it's important to recognize that, while we're talking about the continuation of the legacy, because we are those cubs in the bushes Mr. Garvey talked about, and we got to find creative means of sharing the gospel of Garveyism to and from, if we are really serious about this being a movement and not just a memorial society. And we really have to get active and explain to the community why they need to be a part of the association, and what the association can produce if we have that kind of power and leverage of numbers. to build institutions for ourselves, and to be able to, as Bob Oduno would say, produce, reap what you sow when you eat what you grow. No culture without agriculture, and no pharmacy without the farm. So just putting together farmland so that we can get all we can and can all that we get. Being able to put together credit unions and all kinds of other institutions to benefit, as well as auxiliaries. Certainly we need a Black Cross, because we know the rednecks are not going to protect us. They only protect the Red Cross. Rednecks are going to be protected. So the Black Cross need to protect Black people, but if we don't organize those facilities and those institutions, auxiliaries, have missions in the different countries where we can, perform the work and fulfill our aims and objects, it's going to be to our own detriment. So anyway, there's a lot of work to be done. And I think this film will go a long ways toward educating and inspiring others to learn more. And we will be ready when they are open, and when the students are ready, the teachers will appear. So let's entice these students to get ready.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Kamau. Anyone have any questions on Brother Kamau or the film?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Greetings, Brother Kamau, and welcome to Division 421 mass meeting. Thank you for bringing this to us. And you mentioned something very important in your presentation. What you had mentioned is that for some reason they skip over the 1920s history here in America. And you're so right. And if we all look at it from that perspective, they do skip over the greatest movement that ever existed here in America during the 1920s, like it didn't exist. So I wanted to ask you, Brother Kamau, why you think that is? Why our own Black people skip over it?
Yeah, well, part of the, when Mr. Garvey died, the insults became their way of killing his resurrection. The character assassinations. The character assassinations are what turned some people against him in his day, but it's try to, put the nails in the coffin by continuing long after he's passed to say he's guilty of this crime or that crime, or that, his own people didn't like him. Du Bois and all these other double conscious, double agents, half-ass, half-caste intellectuals who tried to misrepresent his message and convince people that he was not of value to us. They were the ones who wrote a lot of the history books and continued to, through a number of publications, to trash his good name and make it seem as if he was ineffectual, that, he didn't. In fact, one clown once said Mr. Garvey had 40 people at the international convention, but we know 25,000 attended, even, according to white estimates in the white newspapers. Some people, would say that, he was guilty, but we know, this man was convicted of a crime not only that he did not do, but could not possibly have done, because he was out of the country, thanks to Du Bois and others who, had tried to get him labeled as a, what's the title? Well, basically saying that he was an immigrant that was, hostile to America. Forgot the exact term they used. But anyway, they denied his visa upon returning to the U.S. And while he was out of the country, FBI agents snuck into the headquarters, produced some literature as a circulation manager, James Wormley Jones, and sent it out to an FBI informant who lost the letter, but still used the empty envelope in his testimony, not admitting he was an FBI informant. And they went to the court and said, Garvey sent this out to us. And everybody in the office was made and declared innocent. Even Mr. Garvey was innocent, according to the verdict. But then the judge, who was anti Mr. Garvey, later came back and told the people they better convict him of something, or they're gonna make them go back to the whole court trial all over again. So, the jury was giving them wrongful instructions, and, so they decided to convict him of the pettiest thing they could find. And later, most of them came back and apologized and recanted and told him, the court what happened. That's the reason eventually he got a pardon. But this whole scheme, there's a book or article written by a friend of mine, Justin Hansford, called "Jailing a Rainbow." He talks about the narrative that convicted Mr. Garvey and the narrative that was generated to character assassinate him long after he's gone. So that even today, in fact, if you look at presidential pardons, most presidential pardons have declassified their findings when they've done research on the person's case and seen if they were mistreated. Normally, they'll report what they found. The oldest case in the pardon attorney's office that has not been declassified, they still refuse to show, what they found was the case of Marcus Garvey, because they're still trying to conceal the truth. Because they know if the truth found out, that his program and plan and philosophy was the most effective and most productive and constructive, plan and design. Then we don't want to follow that and not these westernized, Western educated clowns who want us to beg for the civil rights rather than declaring our own rights. Like free people are supposed to do. Slaves beg for rights. Free people declare their rights and dare somebody to violate them. And Mr. Garvey demonstrated that manliness that they rather not see amongst us again. So in keeping his name quiet and his legacy quiet, it serves their benefit. Even J. Edgar Hoover, 40 years after, well, I say long after Mr. Garvey left the United States and was away, was still afraid of another Marcus Garvey rising. So anybody who even talked like Mr. Garvey, like Malcolm and others, even Dr. King, was feared that he may become the next Marcus Garvey and, threaten America's interests and actually teach us to look out for ourselves. So, in keeping that story concealed, I think this, I'm not saying that necessarily the Zionists who run Hollywood are responsible, but, there may be some other parties who don't want to see it as well. But there's been no movement, toward the greatest story again ever told. The greatest, largest Black mass movement in the history of the world. The movement that inspired, nations all across the world. It was a little Garveyism that sparked the Harlem Renaissance. It really was the Garvey Renaissance. There was a little bit of Garveyism that sparked the African independence movement and the Black Power movement. So they know what a little Garveyism can do. And that's, largely, I believe, the reason why they try every effort possible to not produce something that, would be of value to us, because they know what they can, can generate in our spirit. And that would produce some danger for their interests, as it did in the days of yore. In fact, really the Council of Foreign Relations that was formed in 22. I think the president of the shipping board was the first president, and Du Bois, of course, was the first writer in that magazine they produced. It was designed almost exclusively to undermine Mr. Garvey's efforts in Liberia. Because America needed a source of rubber, and Mr. Garvey was getting access to it long before the Europeans did, and they felt that other nations had it, and they wouldn't, knowing the world runs on rubber, that they were economically in a bad position, or their national interest was threatened. So Mr. Garvey, his impact is not really been properly told, in my opinion. Even Race First and other books that are great. Knew Dr. Tony Martin very well, was somewhat of a student of his, but even Race First has a whole lot of missing parts of the history that just, will blow your mind if you really understood. Even, in music and jazz, art, culture, Garvey's impact is phenomenal. I don't know if you all seen the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame recently, but even the father of hip hop, the godfather of hip hop, they call him DJ Kool Herc, went up to receive his award, gave a shout out to Mr. Garvey. So the impact of people from this movement and what we were able to do then, imagine what we can do now. I call Mr. Garvey the standard bearer of success under duress, who was blessed to do more with less. But imagine what the capacity we have now by hitting the button, going through 20 million people on Twitter or Facebook, and be able to spread this kind of philosophy and program today, and begin to show works, that would attract people. We'd take over, like Mr. Garvey said, 24 hours. So, I think that's, without belaboring the point, I think that's the reason it was, why we keep neglecting the history that will empower us the best. As Mr. Garvey say, history is a guidepost. And, folks keep moving that guidepost because they don't want us to go in the right direction. But now time, lions assume their rightful place as kings of this planet. And, we, redeem Africa, as Mr. Garvey said, was, now I close with this. The redemption of Africa is a great commission, not only to recover Africa for Africans, but to rescue the souls of Africa's sons and daughters from social, political, economic, and spiritual bondage, restore us to a ground advantage to secure the true uplift of our race and the good of the human family. And that's a vision that even Mr. Garvey's enemies admitted was worth 1,000 years of the united endeavor of all mankind to fulfill. His enemies, so I hope that answers some of your questions.
I had a question, if that's.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, go ahead, Attorney Motep.
Yes, welcome, Brother Kamau. It's good that you are here and letting us know about the film here. My queen just Googled the film, went to YouTube, and there was some comments, I guess, there about the film, and one of the notations was Garvey was not a Pan Africanist, and I didn't see it, but I didn't. I just wanted to get your comment here.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, Garvey was not a Pan Africanist, in any shape, form, or fashion. And I don't know, maybe one of the descriptions someone put up about the film may have said that, but I'm a consultant and associate producer for the film. I kind of came late in the project and kind of, changed around a few ideas, and they had, we re-edited some things that, we thought might, improve the film, but, anyway, saying all that to say, from a Garvey perspective, if anyone says that Garvey was a Pan-African, that would be incorrect. I would have to take exception to that. Pan-Africanism is really started as a boule intellectual, talented 10th project and association. Most of the original members of the talented 10th, most of the half-white, half-wit, half-ass, half-caste colored intellectuals of that day. Most people who attended the 1900 Pan-African Conference, by the way, like Henry Sylvester Williams, married to a white woman. Du Bois, half white. People like Anna Julia Cooper was half white. Sir Harry Johnston, white European, was there. There's some of the very colonizers who were responsible for us being colonized in Africa came to this Pan-African conference. In fact, they even chaired, I believe, one of the sessions, Europeans, so Mr. Garvey considered not only the conference, but the congresses later with Du Bois, a case of, if I can quote him right, the rats having a convention ran by the cats or something like that. But it really, wasn't African nationalist by any stretch of the imagination. And a lot of people like Blyden and others refused to participate in that nonsense and wouldn't come to the conference. But the word, Pan-Africanism, as it went through the years, the Pan-African Congress, the NAACP, the Zionists funded NAACP sponsored, continued to create mayhem and nonsense while Mr. Garvey and the UNIA was producing universal African nationalism, while we were having international conventions, and we were producing industry and commerce and trade and institutions, auxiliaries, etc. Other folks were, just intellectual nonsense, really produced nothing. And in fact, in 1927 at the Fourth Congress, Du Bois said he had it just to keep the name alive because nobody was gravitating toward his mess. Even the scholars and intellectuals, his peers in the academia, considered Mr. Garvey's plan and philosophy much superior, far greater to his and, the Pan-African Congress. So to associate Mr. Garvey with the very people that he had, sincere disdain for, and warned us not to be caught frying in that pan of nonsense, is improper and not disrespectful to consider him a Pan-Africanist. So if anybody did, I'll have to check on that. I'd like to find out where that was written and make that correction. If anybody on the team said that, but I don't recall that description being attached to the film. If anyone did say that, that your sister was absolutely correct. If that was a criticism.
Okay. Well, today I didn't know the history of the organizers of the first Pan-African conferences there. Now today, time here in perspective, would you say that Garvey would be considered a Pan-Africanist?
I wouldn't use the term. Now, what happened in 1945 is what most people look at, as far as the history they go back to. In 1945, Padmore, who was a Garveyite turned communist turned Garveyite turned communist turned Garveyite, he was the one who pretty much, along with CLR James and Jomo Kenyatta, and Nkrumah came on later, wanted to host an African People's Congress in 1945, totally separate from the Zionist Pan-African. But somehow when they sent the promo to the media, they took on the name Pan-African Congress. They didn't say African People's Congress. So Padmore and others decided, well, let's just go with it. Since his uncle was Henry Sylvester Williams, he figured he had a right to, continue that legacy. So he got in touch with Du Bois. Du Bois realized that the NAACP wasn't going to sponsor any more of his congresses. So he figured, well, I'll just let these young guys have their thing, and I'll just come out and chair a meeting. But, he didn't want it to be considered authentic because he didn't agree with their semi-nationalistic mentality. So the history of Pan-Africanism began to radicalize a little bit in 1945 when a lot of these Garveyites like Jomo and others came. But these still weren't nationalists. These were people who wanted independence, full independence for Africa, unlike the Pan-Africanists before, who only wanted a Bill of Rights for some of the workers in Africa, or Du Bois wanted to teach the people over there to be civilized like him and to develop, his white Protestant ethic and all this kind of, talent and tenth nonsense. He wanted some of his colored intellectuals to go over there and lead, but they really didn't want Africa to be independent for another 100 years plus. But these people here who were influenced by Mr. Garvey, like Du Bois, not Du Bois, but like Nkrumah, who was a Garveyite, member of the Philadelphia division, like Ezekiel, who was a rank and file UNIA member, like others who were diehard Garveyites who came there. Even the whole division of the UNIA with Omar Baden, came to the 45 Congress. That's when they developed what Nkrumah called Pan-African nationalism. This is when Pan-Africanism began to get a more radical name. So from there, some of the groups identified themselves as nationalists and African nationalists, but they really weren't, because of course Nkrumah went married a white Arab woman. CLR James was married to a white woman. Padmore was married to a white woman. Jomo was married to a white woman. Everybody in the group weren't really practicing nationalism. They were practicing that Pan-Africanism was a mixture, kind of a bastardized Garveyism. It was more mixed with this socialism, communism, all these other isms, and it really wasn't true universal African nationalism or unadulterated Garveyism. So most of the diehard Garveyites like myself, we don't use that term associate. Now, if someone uses it, I'm not going to make necessarily a big deal about it and argue and and kind of disrupt anything, because their interpretation could be it. But most people have a different interpretation of what Pan-Africanism means. I don't like nothing about the word, from the origin of the word pan being a homosexual god that used to lead little boys into compromising situations and playing the flute. Nor do I like the history of the term, and definitely not the tradition, knowing what Mr. Garvey had to endure with these Pan-Africanists. So, some people would say, for example, Pan-Africanism is total unification of Africa under social, African social science, scientific socialism. Well, Mr. Garvey wasn't practicing African scientific socialism, so Pan-Africanism and Garveyism ain't the same thing. Even though, some people say, "Oh, Garvey was a Pan-Africanist." Well, I say, "Well, do you call the boys of Garvey?" Well, no. Okay, well, there's obviously something different about the two. It's not the exact same thing. There may be some similarities, but I like to see it distinguished if when all possible. If people just say in general we all for African unity and all that, even that could be deceptive because Mr. Garvey was about Black Africans running Africa, not what Nkrumah considered Africa for the Africans was whites, Arabs, and everybody who invaded the continent having an equal say on how the continent is ran. But we're not for the invaders getting the equal share of our motherland. Mr. Garvey felt that Europe ran by Europeans and Asia by Asians, and Africa should be ran by Africans. So his philosophy toward a lot of that was, radically different from what people back then thought of Pan-Africanism and what they think of Pan-Africanism today. And I don't like people just lumping us all together as the same thing because we're not. Garveyites different. We have a set, understanding of our founding, father's philosophy and our worldview and perspective. It's just different from the general, loosely used term Pan-African. So I wouldn't consider Mr. Garvey Pan-African, just like I wouldn't consider Malcolm X a civil rights leader, even though people can say that he taught us to, get fairness or whatever. He went to the police station and fought for a brother to get out or something. They might consider that a civil rights act, but I know Mr. Malcolm X promoted human rights and wanted us to bring things to an international stage. And so his criticisms were mostly for the civil rights movement that he thought was us begging, the white man who wasn't going to give us anything, appealing to his moral conscience, knowing he has neither morals nor conscience. And we weren't going to get anywhere. So to actually call him the very thing that he detested is an insult to his legacy and history. So, I just keep two separate, but others, they have their definitions. I can't tell them what to say and not say, but I would never regard Mr. Garvey as a Pan-African. Even if people want to consider themselves Pan-Africanists in the modern context, that's fine. But, I wouldn't apply it to Mr. Garvey, just out of respect to that legacy and history at that time. He would have probably wash your mouth out with some red, black, and green soap if you called him a Pan-Africanist back. So I'm not gonna, act as if I'm ahistorical on that matter. But anyway, I know I'm talking a little bit, but that's meant toward it.
Attorney Motep, did you have any follow-up?
No, just thank you. You shared some insights into the organizers of the first Pan-African conferences that I didn't know of. Particularly, sounds like just about everybody was married to a European, and the background there of what exactly they wanted, the organizers wanted for Africa, and in your summation that Nkrumah wanted everybody, including the colonizers, to be Pan-Africanists and have a say in the continent. And did you say Jomo Kenyatta was married to a European?
Yeah, white Arab, yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just like Nkrumah.
Right.
Gotcha. Yes, I didn't know that. So thank you. It gives me further insight here as to what is meant by being a Pan-Africanist, and that Pan, you said, has a homosexual background there, history. I can see. Pardon me?
Yeah, I'm just agreeing. I'm saying yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So I need to rethink the Pan-African movement here, and Garvey. Garvey was so strong there that thank you for your insights here. You've straightened me out, so to speak here, and yeah, I'll go forward. Thank you so much, and I'm definitely going to make this the showing of this short film there on the 9th, and I need to know again. Eventually, John, you can put up the information again when it's or the organization that's putting it on or whatever. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Attorney Motep, I did check the Zoom chat. There's a link to to what I showed for the Atlanta Peachtree Film Festival. So there's a pviff.ticketspice.com. That'll take you to the events that they have for the 6th to the 9th. I still, Brother Kamau, I still am a little unclear, and you probably may not know either. I'm still a little unclear on how to complete the process. From what I understood, it was a $5 ticket. But yeah, I'm not sure how to complete that process.
Yeah, from what I was told, like during the film festivals, they have like a 30-minute film, a 40-minute film, a 20-minute film. They may have like 10 films in a day. So if you want to see all, say, 10 films, they may charge you $30. But if you want to see one particular film at a certain time slot, then it's supposed to be $5 for just that film. But again, I'm not 100% because I haven't even purchased my ticket yet. I'm coming from Washington D.C., so I'm still making my final arrangements to be there. I know some other brothers who've already made their arrangements, so I could ask them, but I'm not 100% sure about the process of purchasing and what they're asking and requiring.
Okay, we're gonna figure it out. Any other questions while we're here? Let's see. Yes, looks like it right here.
Raise first.
Raise first.
Raise first.
Yes. I think I heard a statement early on in the film. You know how they try to deny our rights and take away our rights, anything beneficial for us altogether. That was then, and it's back again now. So I see that history never changes. We can change history though. The Quran says if we better our condition, then God will help better us as a people. So we have to take heed to what's going on, get the word out as best we can, and try to come together on more harmonious and equitable terms, because if we don't, they get in Trump back in the presidency. They knocked down affirmative action, knocked down Roe v. Wade, trying to put a ban on critical race theory, which some of this they might consider that. And they trying to come against organizations that's out there to help us as well. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing, But we can combat that doing all we have to do as long as we do it and we don't complain about it, and we learn to get along and love one another better than we do, rejecting certain things from each other. We should be supporting each other right now, and that's important. Otherwise, we'll never come out of the dilemma that we was in then or now. Please raise first.
Raise first. Thank you, Dr. Shams.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Yeah, I mean, the first principle, one of the first aims, not the very first, but second aim is to promote the spirit of pride and love as we establish our universal confraternity amongst the race. We have to, reclaim the fallen and, help the needy, assist the needy, I should say. These the aims and objects that help build a nation, empire, for us, so we can be independent enough when we're no longer in a position to beg other folks for justice. Because if you have to command or demand, you don't command. You're not in a position of power. You don't realize your power. But when we are truly independent and not dependent on others for everything we need and do, and for the finite resources of the planet, when we begin to organize ourselves to be a strong, sovereign, independent race of people, where we exact justice, we don't beg for it anymore. We're in a position to make things happen, and they'll have to contend with us one way or another. Right now, we're too loosely, organized. We're too irresolute. We're not doing the things that we ought to do. We're not doing the things we were commissioned and charged to do in Mr. Garvey's day. And, it's really pathetic. But, a few coming together, demonstrating the power of our organizing would be enough to, I think, inspire others around. People like power. People like seeing people do things and have things and, become successful. And, so if we can successfully organize ourselves and stop boycotting ourselves as a race, stop, patronizing everybody else's restaurants and et cetera, be going to the community buying mama sons and everybody else, but not supporting our own, not even, we get nails and hair done by these other folks. We used to do our own nails and hair. I mean, what happened to us where we can't do things for ourselves anymore, support one another? That mindset has to be broken. Garveyism is the best solution, to all the problems we've ever faced. And, it's still the best solution today. It's an old saying that, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. But the flip side of that means sanity is doing the same thing and expecting the same result. So if we want what we have, we got to do what we did. And Garveyism is not only successful idea and thought, it's a model of absolute success. And, the quicker we can encourage the community through mediums, again, like the film, to embrace that thought idea and talk more about what others don't want us to know about Mr. Garvey. Yeah, I think we'll begin to, endear more people to his personality and wisdom, and we'll have race of Marcus Garvey's personified.
Yes,
Race First families, Baba James, and I wanted to say thank you, brother, because prior to this call and knowing that there's going to be a film about Garvey, the only reference I can tell anybody about Hollywood included Lawrence Fishburne in Harlem when he was married to Garveyite Francine, and now we'll be able to speak on Marcus Garvey and being in film and the video documentation that's more realistic, and I'm thankful for you. Race First.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I remember that scene, the Black Cross nurses. Even that wasn't really, but I know what you're talking about. That was kind of, strange how they did that one. But there's also another television show that was out of Canada called The Porter, where there's some scenes. Yeah, well, there's a negative spin on some things UNIA, but one of the main characters is a Black Cross nurse, and she's having her issues with the local division president, and they kind of have a negative slant on some things UNIA, but it's interesting. A couple of scenes where give you a taste for what we can produce. Films that can reach us and our souls, and and can give us ideas that based on reality. We don't need to dream of Wakanda. We were in the process of building a Wakanda of our own on our motherland, and the same, we built this country and made it as powerful. We did the labor, we built the technology that they stole credit from us for, and we laid our lives on the line defending this country. But if we can put that much into military and much into technology and labor and developing, imagine what we can do with all the gold and diamonds and bauxite and cobalt and all these oils and minerals in Africa, all the land, all the resources. Even this desert has the sun and the wind and the energy that we can power the rest of the continent. But the idea is, if we put that technology and energy into ourselves rather than everybody else, it'd be quick and easy to take over the planet, as far as we're concerned, to be able to regulate our own affairs and not have to keep, begging folks for things. They say Africa is poor, but it's not poor. It was just poorly organized, and we have the solution. and we need to demonstrate it at home and or abroad in America, and make the model for folks at home to say, hey, if they can do it like this over here. We got garrisons in Africa, in America. We got, the same way the Asians have China towns everywhere. We need some Africa towns everywhere. Where we have outposts made in Africa and abroad, Haiti and other places. So anyway, yeah, definitely appreciate your comments, brother. And yeah, through love and unity, it's nothing we can't do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Kamau. Yeah, I just, you're dropping a lot of excellent wisdom, straight Garveyism, to my understanding. And one of the things that I think about with this film and this time is Garvey's approach to propaganda. And he said propaganda has done more to ruin the intentions of good men than open warfare. But we've always talked about propaganda and spreading the word and, making sure our people know that the UNIA is still alive and well. And I don't see this as I don't see any better opportunity for us to do that right now in this time than through this film. So I highly encourage all of us that can support this film to support this film. And if you can't support it directly, Brother Gerard, is there any way individuals can support indirectly if they can't come see the film in person?
Oh, you talking to me?
Yes, sir. Is there any way that?
Yeah. You said Brother Gerard. That's the director.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm over here. I got this on the screen.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Now, actually, one thing that the Detroit division did, that was interesting, was they bought a block of tickets. So they not only make sure their members would make it, but they asked their members to, give one to family members, sell them, or do whatever you could. In fact, he made it a fundraiser in that particular case. I don't think it will work in Atlanta so well, but if everyone were to purchase the tickets, and show up and show out the best you can, have your flags, your buttons, come, suited and booted, and show solidarity. Not only would that encourage the judges of the films to make this an award-winning film, but it encouraged more people to say, man, this was a great turnout. Well, I got a theater over here. Maybe we can show the film here and, have discussions. And, maybe we can start, to reach some of the colleges. And Atlanta is filled with universities, Black universities, that need to know more about Mr. Garvey. So I think, this could be a spark that lights the inferno. And, it's just a matter of how we use it, propaganda. Like you say, this is a tool in that propaganda tool chest. So yeah, we use it wisely. It can, produce, resonate, produce enormous results for us, and make a significant boost in membership and awareness. And I love to see Atlanta thriving with a 10,000 member division. In fact, at the program in Detroit, I can't say exactly, but it looked like about 20-30 people wanted to join in one fell swoop. You can get a film going and can, encourage the people to come see it. And, if they're touched by it, all kinds of things can happen if you, bring the people out and show what, we're doing. It's ours to lose. It's our golden opportunity now to, redirect people back towards, selling us to ourselves, as Mr. Garvey did. So yeah, I'm excited about it. It's something I'm hoping shows in every city, everywhere. Mr. Garvey had his 38 state tour. I'd love to see the film popping up, and not only this film, but other films, to come out of this film. This is the first, so you don't want to be that gal who missed the first. But there's going to be many, many, many others coming behind that. So, this is going to be the fastest growing movement for improvement anywhere in the world. If I have anything to do with it. So, call Lottie Dottie, everybody, What you make of the candlestick maker and tell them no, meet you there, beat you there.
Gotcha.
Yes, excuse me, President John.
Go ahead, Attorney.
I just had a follow-up question. Did you say Du Bois admitted that Garvey was right about the African struggle, Garvey's way as opposed to Du Bois?
Well, yeah, there's a letter in 1933. Actually, it was an article in Du Bois's crisis newspaper called "On Being Ashamed of Oneself," where he admitted that Mr. Garvey's his talented tenth way of trying to reverse America's curse of browning of white America, and he wanted to reverse it through the talented tenth and whiten up Black America. But he admitted that his obsession with colorism was destructive, and that Mr. Garvey's idea of African nobility rooted in service was far superior, and that he was right, and Garvey, Mr. Du Bois was wrong, and his outlook was wrong. He still tried to throw some shade on Mr. Garvey, but he did at least admit that Mr. Garvey was right. Now, that doesn't mean he apologized. So some people take it to the next step and lie, or either misrepresent and say that Du Bois apologized later on in life. Mr. Garvey, he never apologized. In fact, he doubled down on some of his nonsense. But yeah, he did at least admit on one occasion that he was wrong and Mr. Garvey was right. And I mean, he tried to copy Mr. Garvey when Mr. Garvey was incarcerated and out the country. Yeah, he started having these Black nationalist moments in his life when he talking about a nation within a nation, which was the very thing that he criticized and lambasted Mr. Garvey for. He later, when the Great Depression came along and no more Zionist money to throw at their little Zionist pet, all of a sudden now he wants to start, having internal, economics, development and Black folks doing for self and all these things that, he was the biggest critic in the country, if not the world, of beforehand. So, a lot of his own peers clowned him to shame for trying to imitate a Black nationalist, and ran him out of the NAACP, which, by the way, the UNIA used to consider the acronym NAACP stood for nothing accomplished after considerable pretense. But Du Bois and his camp, at some point they had to concede. You couldn't fake it for so long. But yeah, that's one source that you can look at for Du Bois's admission. I forgot what month, but I know it was 1933, crisis on being ashamed of oneself.
Looks like one of the sister just posted it in the chat.
Oh, Sister Quayle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Sister.
I didn't. Somebody can read the post. I can't look at it. See it.
Let's see. Open up the whole thing.
Yeah, Sister Quayle Bay was recently, along with myself and many others, at the tribute ceremony for Baba Oduno. Again, who's one of the longtime ranking elder Garveyites. Used to say he was Garvey trained, Garvey bred. When he died, he's gonna be Garvey dead. And he recently passed in Washington, D.C., where he had founded several divisions, actually, of the UNIA, along with divisions around the globe. So, I was definitely glad to see Baba Oduno's community daughter there, who he loves so dearly, in the presence. And we're going to have some follow-up. We'll notify the Garveyites around the globe when we have a 40-day ascension ceremony for our beloved fallen soldier. Yeah, but I'll keep you all abreast of that. But did you have did you have a comment, Quayle, or a question?
Mr. Quayle, you have a comment?
I think phone is muted. Oh, she having a problem unmuting?
Well, I think she.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm about to.
I can hear too, but you can't hear me.
Oh, okay. Okay, somebody's reading lips good. Okay.
Of course we can hear you, Sister Zaffa.
Oh, can everybody hear me?
We're hearing you clearly.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much for the wisdom and just for, honoring our teacher, our joint teacher, Brother Oduno, and his life and his legacy as an excellent, just a lifelong educator of Brother Garvey and his life, and just a whole philosophy that he had about life, and he will be dismissed. We lost several libraries, as they said at the memorial yesterday. We lost that elder, but he'll come and remind us into our dreams and stuff. So that's a good thing. But
that's right.
I was one, yeah. But my question to anyone and to you as someone following very closely, the kernel of hope for getting some kind of exoneration for Brother Mr. Mosiah Garvey was that, for me, seemed to be the whole development with the VP being of Jamaican ancestry currently. Has there been any kind of pulse around that, or is it dead in the water? Because she did acknowledge Juneteenth recently.
Yeah. She's shown very little interest in appeasing her race with that gesture. There are people, I talked to Dr. Julius Garvey, who, in no uncertain terms told me that he has some people that he know of, probably from the Jamaican government as well as some others, who reached out to her and asked, if she would, ask the president to, make that full pardon, because Mr. Garvey was pardoned by Coolidge, which is a partial pardon, which just commuted his sentence. But a full pardon is a political exoneration by definition, which is different. A full pardon means that all the disabilities that resulted from the conviction are lifted and are removed, so that if you had property taken because you were wrongfully convicted, they would have to restore that property to you because you got the full pardon, which is again a little different. So there was some pressure, on a lot of past presidents who claimed that they were going to do it and never did. Obama's pardon attorney just disregarded it altogether. There was a lot of people who were writing that should probably not have been writing on behalf of the Garvey family, and made some mistakes. But there's a possibility that it may happen. Of course, we always push to exonerate Mr. Garvey amongst the people who mistakenly believe he was guilty, because if you can reach the masses, you don't have to worry so much about the leadership. But it is a warranted and noble gesture, for the people who wrongfully convicted him to admit that, and come before it and make atonement for that wrongful conviction that did a lot to destroy, not kill, but the weaken and hamper the movement to the scale that it did. So there's not a lot of hope, but it's not totally gone either. If it becomes expedient, I'm sure Joe Biden or somebody else will probably take that advice and try to make a power move with it. But frankly, I think I thought Trump would probably do it because of his guy who was pushing it, his white nationalist friend, who understood Mr. Garvey's importance, and he was actually trying to encourage Trump to do it. But I think it opens a can of worms that they don't want opened in order to do it. That's why they're still concealing the findings from the pardon attorney's office of what actually happened when they researched it, because they knew he was innocent, and if they showed that they knew he was innocent and did nothing about it over the last 100 years, what is it going to say about them? So, I think they're, probably not going to, but, he's been exonerated in a lot of other forms, internationally in Jamaica and other places. So we are content with some progress, but we still see is important to put pressure. The families continues to put pressure on, the government to make that atonement. But anyway, yeah.
Thank you for the update. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brother Kamau. Any other questions, comments for Brother Kamau or the film? But again, just to
race first.
Race first, Brother Art.
That's Brother Sean.
Oh, Brother Sean, I'm sorry.
Been a minute. Greetings to the family. I got a question for the brother, Mr. Garvey, because I was raised in Harlem, New York, and I had a chance to, back in the 70s, talk to a lot of people that was Garveyites around the Harlem Hospital area in Harlem. And I live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana now, and I still, from time to time get a chance to go back to the city because I still got family there. But what I wanted to ask you, what about, because, our people, we want freedom. We don't want liberty. We want freedom. And my question is that I talk to a lot of youngsters here in Baton Rouge. They don't even have an idea who Mr. Garvey was, nothing about him. It's Martin Luther King down here in the South. I have nothing against Martin Luther King. But for some reason, well, I ain't gonna say for some reason, I know the reason. They pick and choose the black leaders who they want to let out into the public system for the youngsters to know. And, I'm trying to find out, because I know that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad took a lot of his learnings from Mr. Garvey, but he also, when he built the Nation of Islam, it was also on a military style with the knowledge of doing for self.
Yeah,
so
well, he got that.
I want to ask you, what is your thoughts or what do you have to say about, for as Mr. Garvey and the do for self, and on the other hand, the military effort?
Yeah, well, certainly.
Or was there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there was. We called it the uniform rank. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was certainly a corporal in the Legion, according to the Honorable Thomas W. Harvey and others who I've had a chance to meet back in the day. In fact, I don't know if you remember Captain Thornhill from Harlem, but he was one of Mr. Garvey's bodyguards. But he also used to work closely with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They both got arrested together during the war. But anyway, but yeah, certainly the military training that a lot of us, the UNIA was founded in the beginning of World War I, 1914. So when you founded in the middle of a war, you got all these Africans coming back from France with Legionnaire uniforms on, and you have people who just went over to France and liberated that country and killed probably millions of Europeans in the process. We weren't coming back to the States to take a whole lot of mess. So Mr. Garvey trained and organized that energy into a bit of an emergency response unit for the community. He had Royal Guard and other Royal Engineers. They had the young scouts who were training in military drills and discipline. But we were learning to build as well as to take apart. We were learning, the Black Cross was like the Red Cross, emergency response, disaster relief unit, but Motor Corps was also there, transport, and, the women's Motor Corps, anyway, so it was a number of auxiliaries that were of military style discipline and trained, and we continued that. In fact, in Louisiana, we had 81 divisions that we know of of the UNIA. It was the state with the largest number of divisions. So the history of the UNIA in that state, certainly New Orleans, Mr. Garvey departed from the country. He was deported from New Orleans, and one of his last words to the crowd that was on the shore, singing, God bless our president, as the ship was going away.
he told them there must always be a division in New Orleans. He stressed that we got to always have a division of the UNIA in New Orleans. And, you know, one of the greatest ones who came from New Orleans was a lady named Honorable Estelle Eleanor Berryman James. The Honorable Charles L. James, his former past president general's wife. She was born, raised in New Orleans. She was, 1926, she was the president of the Juvenile Division, etc. You know, she's one of my greatest teachers and my first UNIA mother. And, she taught me a lot of things about the history of the UNIA, Louisiana. You know, you hear stories of people like Queen Mother Moore talking about Louisiana and how people came to defend Mr. Garvey when the sheriff threatened him not to speak. And when he's opened up his mouth to speak anyway, they came down the aisle to, pull out their guns, and the members pulled their guns out first. Women pulling them out of their dresses, purses, kids pulling out shotguns and ran the sheriffs about at that place. But, there are incidents and stories, in Tennessee of shootouts with the police, etc. But by and large, we weren't trying to provoke any war in the U.S., but we were defending ourselves and prepared to train, the next generation on how to defend themselves until we can become, organized enough to build a super state in Africa that can then support the people of African descent globally. But yeah, certainly, a lot of well-trained soldiers and warriors. And yeah, Harlem was, that was headquarters, 40,000 member division. I mean, not only is that pretty much one of the homes of bebop, which, was produced by a lot of from the Garveyites in the jazz circle, back in the day, the Max Roaches and even Duke Ellington said Garvey put the bop in bebop, but we had a lot of other people even going on up to hip hop like Fab Five Freddy, Fred Brathwaite. His grandfather was a president of the Brooklyn division. His grandfather's brother was a stenographer for the 1920 convention. Foxy Brown's grandfather was the head of the New York local back in 1926 when they still had 40,000 plus people. But you got a lot of people who outgrowths of that explosion of consciousness and action that are still around. So as much as they try to deny Mr. Garvey's existence, our footprints are everywhere. They can talk King all they want, but there's an argument that King's grandfather, the Reverend A.D. Williams, possibly was also a founder of the division in Detroit. It's not 100% provable, but according to Dr. King's sister, who recently passed, her grandfather was indeed a Garveyite, and there was a Reverend A.D. Williams who was in Atlanta, who happened to go to Detroit for a year in 1920, and just happened on the way back from 1920 division. There was a Reverend A.D. Williams who had a UNIA charter and the red, black, and green flag in his hand. And then, he kind of disappeared on the scene and was back in Atlanta. And whether I can prove that, I might need a little more corroborating documentation. But, certainly Dr. King went to Jamaica, gave homage to Mr. Garvey, and later received an award from Jamaica, the first Marcus Garvey Award, Human Rights Award. Unfortunately, he had passed away, of course. His wife had to receive it. But, but yeah, the Kings were definitely fond of Mr. Garvey and unapologetically, proud of his legacy. The man who gave us a sense of somebodyness and restored our sense of dignity and destiny. So, he was a proponent to some degree of Garveyism, even though, of course, they want to sell you the I have a dream and little white kids and black kids and going to the toilet together and all that kind of silliness. But they're not going to tell you the real, speeches and more powerful, why he opposed Vietnam, et cetera, speeches. They'll give you what you want, so you kind of have to counteract their propaganda by putting up superior propaganda and explaining, as you say, deconstructing their lies and reconstructing truth until, we have the dominant message in the community and we have all the facts and, figures on our side. There's not too much they can do about it, but as long as it goes unopposed, then, history becomes that lie that's agreed upon. So I just say keep fighting, fight on, learn, cite, document, and take it to them.
Thank you, Brother Kamau. Brother Sean, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir, it does. I was sitting up there. I was thinking, because the brother, he dropped so many jewels out there, and I was sitting there thinking about one of them. He was talking about the brothers that was married to European women. And I would say this much on that part there, that Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him the last trick that the white man gonna use was that he was gonna turn his woman loose on the black man in America. The other day, Byron Allen was receiving an award, and he gave a speech that, you know, he was fighting so hard for his network communication program that he got going on because he wants us to tell our story. But as long as the other people are in control of the media, they will tell the story with their own twist to it. Like they did the movie Harriet, like, you know, had it like she was in love with the slave master, you know. But I'm saying this right there. We cannot drag, even though we are humble people, we have to be what Mr. Garvey said and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. We have to do for self. We can't drag somebody else along while we fighting this craziness. And one of the things I feel that's hurting us a lot is that we always talk about, well, we want civil rights for everybody. Everybody is not concerned about us. See what's going on in Chicago. You see how the people talk about sending people back on the bus. But for some reason, up until we just, I think, and believe wholeheartedly, this is going to continue to happen to us until we just get plumb fed up with what's going on. Maybe a lot of us could, you know, we have to die. But when Marcus Garvey said, black man, mighty nature, stand up and rise. Do for self. Do for self. He didn't say do for everybody. He said do for self. And so for some reason, we get BS in life all mixed up. We want to drag other people into our thing. I said all that to say this. Byron Allen, much respect as I have for him, this year, his net worth is $800 million. Now, if he died today or tomorrow, where that money going? His wife is named Jennifer Lucas, European.
Lord. Yep.
If he died today or tomorrow, that $800 million is going back in the white community.
And without a doubt.
And they're going to show you what race
Even though we support Byron Allen, what he's trying to do, but one thing that in the movie that Spike Lee did with Malcolm X when Denzel was at the Boston University and a white woman came to him, she said, "What can I do to help?" Malcolm said, "Nothing." Because for some reason, every time we involve the Europeans in our struggle, they get in, they want to take over.
Well, they want to take over.
And after they take over, then maybe 2 or 3 generations down the road, this is what you got, what you're looking at right now. We got a generation of, we have a generation right now in the streets, the youngsters, who don't know nothing about Mr. Garvey. Maybe know something about Mr. Louis Farrakhan, but they are killers. They are straight killers right now. They have disregard. They don't have no regard for life whatsoever. And when you try to talk to them, because I know something, try to talk to them, they tell me, "Oh, gee, we don't want to hear that bullshit." That's the way they say it. We don't want to hear that because I'm fighting to say, well, everybody on the phone, that's my age, I'm 57. I'm fighting the same fight that my mother was fighting. My mother fought the same fight that her mother was fighting. Her mother was fighting the same fight. And they ain't seen nothing yet. Nothing changed. We still want to, every time one of us gets shot down, we want to go out there and protest and hold up cardboard signs. That's what we want to do. We asking an uncivilized man to be civilized. That's like training a lion to be a house cat. So this is my thing about when I heard the brother say all these brothers was married to Europeans, and I'm sitting up here saying, this shit ain't gonna work. We just gonna have to X them brothers out to some parts or sisters out that are married to Europeans and let them be by themselves. Because as long as we keep dragging these people, allow these people to be in leadership, and we try to keep this movement going, we just gonna be on the phone. We gonna be wherever in some town hall on Friday night or Sunday afternoon after church, and we ain't getting nowhere. 2 generations gonna be passed by, and we still gonna be sitting at the table saying the same thing. Race first.
Race first.
Race first. But Kamau, did you want to respond to it or move on?
Well, he was singing music to me. I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree. The UNIA has a policy that you can be a member if you're married to a member of an alien race, but you can't be an officer if you're married to someone of the alien race, because to be a true Garveyite, according to our creed, African fundamentalism, the order of priority for us should be loyalty first to our God, not religion, but to our God, to our family, to our race, and to our nation. So if your family member is of another race than your race, what happens if a race war kicks out? You're gonna be hiding some of the enemy under, within our ranks. You're gonna be bringing some of the people in who, secretly doing harm because that's your family. So we can't trust you with certain responsibilities as long as you can still be a member, because, according to UNIA Constitution, every member of the race is, an ordinary member of the association anyway. But you can't serve, in that capacity, basically slave for 2 masters, So you got to serve your race, or we don't know how to deal with you. So I know a lot of those folks who think they can get successful with Becky on their arms. They think that's a status symbol. I think Frantz Fanon used to say that some people, when they become successful, they want to feel equal with a white man by having the quit essence of white manhood on their arm, which is a white woman. And it makes them feel like, I got a blonde haired wife too. So, I'm your, equal politically, but, that's just not a practical, way of, if you can't be a nationalist, if you don't have a black man, woman, child, union form to produce a black nation, going out chasing, other folks who, don't share your struggle and your perspective and everything else is not making for a strong black family. So, we oppose that. But yeah, but some of those folks out there do have that. So I'm hoping they come to their senses. Even Dr. Tony Martin's wife was, one of those Indian Trinidadian women. And, after he died, she's about to sell off all his majority press stuff,
Wow.
She was going to show you what Race First was all about for real, and kick all that to the trash. So, we got to learn these lessons, make you feel like you're being racist, because, you don't want to marry, somebody outside of your race. But, we got to learn certain lessons. I mean, there's certain, I like culture. I like, spirituality, religion, other things. But these things alone aren't the solutions, to our problem. We need a race first view of, our spirituality, of our culture. And, even in Africa, people think culture alone was enough. Well, we had more Khan and Yoruba and all this stuff in Africa then than we do today, when they kidnapped us and brought us over here in chains. So, culture alone and praying to the gods alone ain't enough. they came over as a race to invade us, and we were tribes. We were nation states individually, and so Shanti got, invaded. That's Fulani ain't worried about that. If the people of Songhai or Benin, invaded, the other kingdoms say that's their problem. But when we think as a one universal race, they can't touch us. Nothing. Physically, we dominant genetically. I mean, everything we do, is civilization wise has been dominant to everything they've ever done. So we have all the solutions we need within ourselves. We just have to realize it and understand the urgency of the time, and not let our feet drag and grass grow before we start exercising that power. Because again, there is a point Mr. Garvey talked about. It comes down to meat and wheat. There's a point, where we have to secure for ourselves those finite resources of the planet, or else forfeit them, and watch our children and grandchildren and posterity starve. And we are, aware of what's going on, and we have an opportunity to protect what's ours. It's high time we do that, and let that urgency be spread and shared with the community. That's what propaganda is really all about. Not only what you do and not do. What you learn and don't learn, and it's about winning someone's allegiance, either for them or for themselves. And we got to fight in this game. Can't let Twitter and all these other people fill their minds with talking dogs and all this silly stuff, and occupying our time with craziness when they plotting and planning all around us to undermine everything we can do to help ourselves. So it's just a matter of rubbing our noses sometimes in our own poop until we realize the urgency of the situation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A couple things I was gonna say in regards to those comments.
And before you, I was gonna let you know at 7 o'clock, another 4 minutes, I'm gonna have to move on. But continue, please.
Okay, well, I'll say, Baba James, I know you had your hand up for a long time. Did you have a comment? I'll defer.
I already spoke my piece. I don't know how to take this thing off.
Okay, got you. I'll take care of you. Let's see. I think Ross Marvin got you. All right. What I was gonna say, two things. One, and this goes back to what you were saying about the Legion, and I love what you said. It's actually something that I came to the understanding of very recently. But the purpose and the intentions of the Legion is a uniform body or group that could tear down a city overnight or build up a city overnight. And a lot of times we get caught up into the destructive or we can call it defensive aspects of the Legion, but we miss out on the productive and the constructive responsibilities of the Legion. And Bob James, this is not anything to you in regards to Legion. Like I said, this is something that I came to the realization of as of very recently, and it's something we haven't really talked about as a division. But thank you, Kamau, for reminding me of that aspect, of that component of our Legion, not only to destroy, but also to be able to build up. And the second thing was the interracial relationships, and you said it, very well from a Garveyite standpoint. This is not something that we agree with. And Marcus Garvey's message to the people, he actually says that what Byron Allen is doing is considered a irreparable sin. It's a sin that you can't come back from. But he says for a rich Negro to marry a poor white is it's an irreparable sin. And a lot of the individuals that we've discussed tonight could fit into that category in some form. And as Brother Kamau said, per the UNIA Constitution, those individuals would be barred from positions of leadership due to their relationships. That's written in the Constitution that you cannot have a spouse of alien race and be a leader in the UNIA. So I just want to touch on those 2 points. Any closing comments that we have for Brother Kamau before he leaves? He's got about 30 seconds. Brother Kamau, anything?
Yeah.
Brother Kamau, you got anything you want to say?
Well, I was just gonna say thank you all for inviting me. Anytime you need me to return, I give you my Garveyite promise. I'll be there. I want us to appreciate the value of the organizational structure we have. We are all things and everything. Is the UNIA? We're every division is a strong political unit. It's a strong family unit. It's a strong military unit. It's a strong financial unit. Everything we need. The Constitution is like a strategic business unit. A lot of ways, but we operate as part of an empire of communities all over the globe that are unifying and organizing and coming together. And we can, really do great things if we put our mind to it. Mr. Garvey used to, people ask me how did Mr. Garvey do certain things. I normally start by showing them a flat horizontal line and then putting a W on top of that line and ask them, what does that mean? And that flat line with the W on top basically means put your behind on the line. And if you want to accomplish anything in life, you got to be willing to put your behind on the line, take some risks, make some sacrifices, do whatever it takes to get the job done, and no excuses. And, we can do all that, then some. Mr. Garvey was an ordinary man with extraordinary conviction. And that's where the true power lies. So I just want us to tap into that conviction when we do anything that we do with a full heart, the same heart Mr. Garvey had. And with that, I just say, think black, act black, buy black, or y'all gonna make me come back.
Thank you, Brother Kamau. We appreciate you. Very informative presentation, and we look forward to the film on the 9th.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate it. Let me know, afterwards how it was received. I'm sure if I'm there, we'll have a chance to communicate. But if I'm not, I definitely stay in touch and appreciate you again. And it was a joy meeting everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
All right. It's 7 o'clock. We need to move quickly. Let's see. I'm gonna give a couple brief updates and then we'll run through our officers and then we'll go to member share and we'll close out. So Ross, your mic is open. So a couple things that we on the agenda, we went through the Garvey film. Last meeting, we had preparations for Black Family Day and giving of gratitude. So just a couple recaps on those. We did host, or no, we did not host, but we did have Black Family Day on the 18th of November at Akira's Cafe, hosted by primarily Nation of Islam, Brother Gerald X. Move this out the way. Just a couple pictures of the event. Obviously, Nation of Islam President, myself representing the UNIA, Brother Eric was also there as well. I don't know if I got him in the pictures. Brothers from Memorial Science Temple, brothers from the Nuwapians or Sabians were also there. But just as we've said, this is one of those opportunities that we have that brothers are putting out the call to organize and come together. We have to continue to answer those calls. Let's see if someone is. Brother Amun dropped off. I was going to see if he wanted to give some comments. But another good event. This is on the 18th, last Saturday. And then for I don't have the flyer for this one. Let me get the flyer for this to make it right. That was the wrong flyer, but it's gonna work for now. Our giving of gratitude. It's our first annual giving of gratitude. And I understand this is not the best flyer, but it's the first one I could find at the moment. This is just a picture that was taken at the end. Brothers from the Moorish Science Temple. This is Brother Gerald X. He was an award recipient. Brother Heru, Grand Sheik of Temple 19, also our guest speaker. Gotta echo. Guest speaker from last week. He was an award recipient. Our own Kimwardo, award recipient. Sister Kelly was an award recipient. The facilitator of Rio, Brother Kevin Williams, was the pastor of Beloved Church, Slaughter, was a our Lifetime Achievement Award went to Brother Mukasa Ricks, Brother Willie Ricks, if you know his name. He's synonymous with Stokely Carmichael and Luther King. He's the creator of the phrase Black Power. And our organizational Lifetime Achievement went to President Ross Marvin for his lifetime of efforts, sacrifices, and contributions to get the UNIA where it is today here in Atlanta. So just a brief recap on those two events, 18th of November and the 21st of November. We will be providing updates for Kwanzaa. We'll be working with Kwanzaa, and we will have our continue having our Tuesday call at the Omanala Griot. So these are the things that we've talked about in the past, and having events and doing things and being out in the public. So we are doing those things. So, the results, will speak for themselves, whether our effort is valued and received as we expect, or if we need to change our strategy. But at any rate, just want to give an update on one of the things that we've had going on this past week, actually. Okay, with that takes us to officer reports.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. I think if we could mute Brother Marvin, so we can lose echo.
Ross, you got an echo. What's going on?
Oh, I'm on the road. And if I mute myself, then the people on the conference line won't be able to hear me. There's about 5 people on the conference line.
I figured it was something like that.
Yeah, I'll be stopped. I'll be stopped in a couple of minutes.
You have it on speakerphone?
Yeah, let me take off the speakerphone. How y'all let me know?
Test. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I can hear you. Is it still echo?
No, that's better. It was the speaker.
Okay, I'll leave it like that. I'll take it off the speaker.
Okay. So for myself, President report, main focus is officers training on Tuesdays, 8 p.m., 8 to 10. We've gone through chapter 8, lesson 8. We've got 9 sessions. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up. That'll be my report. Orientation, lifetime achievement, philosophy. We just did session 9 of Course of African Philosophy, lesson 8. And next week or this Tuesday, we'll go through lesson 9. But this is our main focus from an officer standpoint, is getting through Course of African Philosophy and our officer's exam. Other than that, the only other thing from my standpoint is orientation. So everyone should be getting the emails for orientation from the parent body every Saturday at 8. So those are my 2 big focuses. Just working on the international headquarters. There's going to be a meeting tomorrow, so I don't have any update today. But being made from that standpoint. Other than that, this coming Tuesday, officers will be having a Zoom from 6 to 8 to go over our calendar for the rest of the year, as well as calendar for 2024. Some of the events that we do on an annual basis, we just need to document them, lock them in, make sure we're planned and ready for them. So to end out the year, we don't really have anything other than Kwanzaa, and I kind of want to keep it that way. We had a busy November, so let's just focus on our Tuesdays for December and our Kwanzaa for the end of the year. Starting out January, the Moors will be having their event for Prophet Noble Drew Ali sometime around January 8th. So beginning of the year, that'll be one of the first events that we talk about. I don't know if we're doing anything for Malcolm X Day, not Malcolm X, Martin Luther King in January. February, Black History Month. We, can put some things in place for that. March, don't really have much. April is HEC in Philadelphia. So I need to get with our first vice president and find out where we are with that, as well as everyone. We need to get commitment on who would like to go, who is willing to commit to going to HEC. Get that finalized next month. Ross, you're getting a lot of feedback. You're moving around a lot. You gotta put your phone somewhere and sit it down.
Yeah, stop.
So HEC next year is the next big focus. So we need as many people that are willing and ready to go to Philadelphia in April. We need to get you locked in. We can start discussing travel and lodging. So other than that, I don't have anything. Any questions or comments anybody has for me or that I need to ask the parent body at HEC? Also, one other thing, last thing, Constitution. I've been talking with our Legal Defense Committee coordinator and our Counsel General Attorney Imhotep about Constitution course. I'm probably about halfway through the Constitution, going through it and pulling out questions. Once we get the questions finalized, I'll be working with Counsel General and we'll announce a day for recurring Constitution sessions. And I'd like to be able to provide some type of form of completion and understanding at the end of said course. But that's something else that we're looking to announce hopefully by the end of the year. And that's all I've got. If there aren't any other questions for me, I will pass it over to our Lady President. Questions, comments?
Oh, race first.
Race first?
Yeah, this is Nabantu, Uncle Wanda. When do you have your announcement?
Announcements.
I don't want to be out of order.
You're talking about just members announcements?
Not dealing with community announcements that we'd like to invite UNIA to be a part of.
Just a moment. Let us get through our officers, and then we'll open it up to the community. We don't have too many officers, and I don't think they want to speak long anyway. So I was the first of the officers. My lady president, treasurer, legal defense committee, African Legion, and secretary report. And then we'll open up the floor for the community. Listen to Bantu.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, sure. When they finish the officers their report. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll Sister Ra Ebony, are you there?
What's all the background noise?
It's Ross, but he's on the conference line, so he can't go on mute. Ross, you gotta sit still or put your phone down somewhere without any wind.
Okay, sorry about that, family. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can hide the phone someplace.
Okay. Lady President.
Greetings, family. Greetings, family. Not gonna hold y'all too long. Sorry, 7:15. I just want to give thanks for everybody on the call. And I want to give thanks for the information shared about the movie. I think that's so exciting that I think most honorable, most righteous Marcus Mosiah Garvey is being honored, and he's actually being exhilarated. So that's very exciting. Just for updates, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my report and get on out the way. We are having a community development meeting. I have the flyer. I sent it to President, but I don't think I could share. I don't think I could share the screen. It's all good. But we are having a community development meeting. I mean, a community development workshop Tuesday from 6 to 7:30. I didn't extend it to 8. Yeah, that is. I didn't extend it to 8 just for the preparation of the course of African philosophy. But if it extends to 8, then it just extends to 8. But from 6 p.m. to 7:30, we will be meeting for the youth programs and holistics. We will get into those conversations and see how the membership would like to include their talents and their knowledge into our youth and into our health. So we're looking forward to that conversation. Looking forward to the planning and development of that. So that's all I really wanted to put forth right for that. And that's pretty much my report. Every Tuesday, I'm not agreeable from 3 to we're there to 8. We're there to 10 o'clock. For 8 to 10, we actually do the course of African philosophy. But we are there. We do still looking for vendors, merchandise, food vendors. Please come show your love. Please come through. Come get the information. Come sign up for membership. Come pay your membership fees. Come get information about Marcus Garvey and the UNIA and African literature and so many other things. We have available for you at the Amanala Grill on Tuesday. So we look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you all for being here tonight. And race first.
Race first. Thank you, Lady President. Excellent job keeping us active and engaged. So I've got the flyer up, and I know this is everybody's first time seeing the flyer. However, we should, at this point, be engaged and be aware of our Tuesdays. We're trying to take ownership of a day of the week, and you know, put forth, you know, if we are going to have a Liberty Hall, a true Liberty Hall, a true government, it would need to function, you know, for the most part, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is our attempt at 1 day a week for 12 hours a day. Can we maintain and have a properly functioning government with that amount of time? And can we put forth that amount of effort and time throughout the week? So thank you, Lady President, for doing the work and you know, creating that opportunity for us as a government. Any questions, comments for Lady President?
Yes, I just want to badge up our Lady President for her commitment to holding up the fort on Tuesday over the Omanala, and she's been working very hard to make it happen for us, and she's well committed, and I think we should badge it up for our Lady President for excellent job, especially last Tuesday's program, the award ceremony. We had a great turnout, and it was a great event. So keep up the great work, Lady President.
Yes, sir. Yes, I second that. You know, I can't say enough. You know, this is what, you know, as I said with the Omanala Griot, certain things that we've talked about, we've needed, and I feel that we are now in a position where we have the things that we've said we've needed, and we're running out of excuses. And Lady President is a great example of having the right leadership at the right place at the right and with her, you know, leadership and encouragement, I don't see, you know, and with me supporting, I don't see anything that's good for our people, that's beneficial for our people that we couldn't achieve. So we have to take advantage of the time that we are in. No questions, comments for our Lady President. All right, 7:21. President Ross, since I got you, will you give a report on behalf of our Treasurer?
Yes, President John. Greetings, family. In the transition, always multitasking, but also let's badge it up for Brother Kamau with an excellent presentation. Just like our Consul General learned, I learned a lot tonight from his sharing, especially from the Pan Africanist perspective and the race first perspective. Also, I know that other people learn. So my report as treasurer, getting ready this upcoming week, members of 421 will be sending your updated Black Government ID. And I'm the treasurer for Division 421. And the purpose of sending the IDs is so that members can pay their year dues if they haven't paid it already. Because that's one of my jobs as a treasurer, to remind our members to pay their dues. President John, I know we had spoke about this earlier, but I didn't get the confirmation. A suggestion was made earlier in this month that all members of Division 421 who pay their year dues will get their updated Black Government ID for free. So I just wanted to check and see if that was true with you, President.
Wait, say that again.
We had discussed earlier in the month, a suggestion was made that if members pay their year due, we'll send them their Black Government ID. The normal cost for the Black Government ID is $20 for the first time, and the renewal is $10. But they'll be exempt of that fee if they pay their whole year's due. I'll be contacting the members this week to ask them to pay their year's due and sending them their Black Government ID updated. I just was wondering, was that decided on, or was that okay, or how should we do it?
Yes, in my opinion, and Lady President, I would like for you to voice your opinion as well. But I think that is something, that is a promotion that we should proceed with. for the time being. If individuals sign up and pay their first year dues, then we provide their first Black government ID on behalf of the organization.
And also for current members too, to get their updated ID.
Sure. Yes. Okay. I agree. Yeah. Not just Lady President. What do you think? You agree?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. So yeah, I agree with that, President Ross. You have my approval for that program and that promotion.
Give thanks, President and Lady President. So I'll be starting contacting members this week with your updated Black government ID. This is all in the effort to increase our active members in Division 421. Everyone will be sent their drafted updated ID and reminded if they haven't paid their dues, if they pay their dues this, between now and the end of the year, that they'll get their updated Black government ID for free. So it's we have 477 members who have joined Division 421, but currently we only have about 50 active. That means about 50 members who pay in their dues. So this is all in an effort to increase our active membership, because our goal set by our president is that we have to get to that 500 active members. So this is an effort to get the membership, our membership to 500 active members. And as Brother Kamau said, back in the days, UNIA membership was in the thousands per division, and there was many divisions in each state. So this is what I'll be focusing on for the next few weeks as a treasurer for Division 421. So everyone look out to hear from me, because I believe most of the members' Black government ID might have expired already. So we're kind of behind the 8 ball with it. So please, if you didn't pay your dues for this year, I'll be reminding you in my communication to you. And that's all for the Treasurer's Office today, President John. Also, from our Promotions Office, the Whirlwind Newsletter. The newsletter went out today, the Whirlwind Newsletter. And this is very, very important, brothers and sisters. We need help. We need brothers and sisters who's interested in working. As Brother Kamau say, this is not a time for us to protest and march. This is a time for us to do for ourselves, as Garvey said. So putting out our own newsletter, we all know how powerful the Negro world was back in the 1920s. Where's our publication for today? We have it. It's called the Whirlwind Newsletter. But our staff for the Whirlwind Newsletter is short, and we need brothers and sisters who's interested in jumping on board and helping us out with the Whirlwind Newsletter. President John, is it okay that I give my number out for anybody who's interested in working with our division newsletter? It comes out the 2nd and the 4th Sundays of each month.
Yes.
So we need help in all the areas.
Yes, go ahead.
You said yes?
Yes.
Okay, anyone who's interested in working on our division's newsletter, you see an example of it in your email. It was sent out earlier today. You can contact me, Ross Marvin, at 404-447-5299. We need brothers and sisters in all different areas. Even if you're a writer or reporter, anything you do that can help with us maintaining a Whirlwind Newsletter, we really, really appreciate it. So please reach out to me, 404-447-5299. Thank you so much, President John, and thank you, family. Race first.
Thank you, President Ross. Race first, and we'll talk again Tuesday, because we do we got a good understanding of where we are financially amongst the executives. It's not something for this meeting, but we've got some upcoming payments, so we just need to see where we are and what we need to do, what we can do. But in the meantime, I did post Ross Marvin's contact to the chat for anyone that can help us with our Whirlwind Newsletter, and you can help virtually. You don't have to be in person. Very important, but also of most critical importance, member dues. A lot of us are active dues paying members. We do record these calls as well, so keep that in mind. I'm not trying to beat up on anybody on the call, but it's an opportunity for those that watch the recording back virtually. To become a active dues paying member, the requirement is $3 a month. That's about the cost of 1 gallon of gas. And we have to, that's one way I think about it. We're trying to get somewhere. We're trying to make progress. It's like we're trying to all go on a road trip. And we all know that the UNIA is going to bring all Black people, but the question is, are all Black people going to contribute to that road trip? Is everybody going to put in their gallon of gas every month in order for us to make progress? And that's the way I like to think about it. This should not be a financial burden. $3 a month, $46 a year. This should be something that we have the funds to contribute. And when you look at Black people spending in the United States let's just say over $1 trillion, we know that the funds are there. But the question is, are we serious about putting those funds towards programs like the UNIA, programs like Black Cross Nurses, programs like the African Legion, programs like African Center Schools, programs such as a Black economy. Thank you, President Ross. Thank you for our treasurer report. Questions, comments for our treasurer before we move forward? All right. Thank you, Queen Mother Moses. You've always been a supporter, longtime supporter of the UNIA, especially here in Atlanta. All right. Let's keep it moving. As I said, we don't have a lot of officers on. First Vice President is not on. Jump over to Baba James. Baba James, you got anything you want to family from a standpoint?
Greetings, fam. I just want to let you know that
you went out. Baba James, you there? You went out. Okay, looks like we lost him. While he's calling back in, Attorney Emotep, is there anything you want to share with the family?
Yes, a couple of things. So I also want to acknowledge the work that the Lady President is doing every Tuesday. And excuse me, I'm getting a call here, and give me a persistent call. And what the Lady President is doing, especially with the youth, that's very commendable, and it's important, and that's our future. And I also want to give her props there, and thank you. Also, thank you, Brother John, for these guest speakers that we're having. I did learn a lot from the speaker today, and also last week I went and joined the newspaper.com, and the first thing I Googled was Marcus Garvey, and I came up with several articles, newspaper articles from the 1920s. And the print, unfortunately, is so small, I have to find a way to enlarge it. So that's my next goal. Also, Brother John, I want to thank you. That video you normally played a couple of times there before the meeting on the UNIA national anthem. That was good. To see that and to learn what the national anthem is, hope you do that again and often, and need to find out where did you get that. Yeah, that's really good and important.
Yes, sir. Not a problem. I will share that with you now. The only reason I haven't shared it as much is because there is a copyright concern because we record our sessions. So when I try to post them back to YouTube, we get a strike for copyright for using that portion.
I see. Okay. Well, thank you. Race first. Let me answer this call here. Race first.
No problem. Race first. So yeah, this is, I'll save this for Attorney Imhotep, and we'll come back to that. Mama, yeah, Sister Aziza. Oh, not Sister Aziza. Sister Aziza is with Attorney Imhotep. Mama Amina, is there anything that you want to share with the family? One of our elder coordinators. Mama Amina, you there?
I'm here. I'm just gonna say I agree to get our Kwanzaa together.
You agree to what?
Oh,
what was that? You broke up. Oh.
Hello?
Yes, we hear you now. Okay, you went on mute.
Hello?
Yes.
I just was saying let's get our Kwanzaa together.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes. Thank you, Mama Mina. So, Lady President, Tuesday, that needs to be one of our top priorities. Kwanzaa is right around the corner. So yeah, that needs to be one of the things that we plan for. And again, officers, I'm saying this to all of our officers, this is one of my concerns when it comes to having events all the time, because it creates a constant need for attention. So every month, October, since Garvey Day, really, Garvey Day, August we had Garvey Day. September, we really didn't do much. I think we tried to do some stuff. October, we had a fundraiser. Then we had Ancestors Day. We had Black Family Day, and then giving thanks, and then Thanksgiving, obviously. But planning for Ancestors Day, planning for giving thanks, planning for Kwanzaa, all of these things are important, and we will do them. But we can't miss out on planning for HEC and planning for events next year as well. So immediately next Tuesday, we need to have a plan for the end of this year and the beginning of next year.
And also, President, if I may interject, Thursdays, for all those who want to pitch in, like if you don't make the Tuesday community development meeting, we have Thursday business meetings. So you can always catch the Thursday's business meeting. President John, I think we need to be more adamant about hosting those. I don't know the status of, but we need to, yes, Thursdays we do have business meetings well, it should be every Thursday, but we'll get to that. But every other Thursdays we do have business meeting. But this Tuesday, we will be discussing things of that matter in the last 30 minutes of the meeting. So please be present to voice your opinions, to give your ideas, to be a part of this planning, this event planning, because your efforts, your donations, it is all needed, it is all appreciated, and we will truly welcome it. So please be of attendance either Tuesdays or Thursdays, and we will send out the information for that. So we look forward to seeing you all and hearing all of the information that you all have to share and all the ideas and solutions that you have for what we're doing. So race first, I just want to put that in there. And also, while I'm talking, vendors, we need you vendors, merchandise vendors, food vendors on these Tuesday events. We need you. Come out, bring the crowd, bring the family. Y'all, if you're sitting in the house, you know, a day after work, a day after school, or whatever, just come by, slide through, come see the family. Because we're there. You want to sit around, and you can sit around to the course of African philosophy with President John. We're hosting that too. Again, for those who have the crafts and those who need the platforms to present your art, we have that. Vendors, we need you. Merchandise vendors, food vendors, come out and present your art and bring your families, because we're there and we're active and we want to see you. So we have information about the UNIA, we have information about Marcus Garvey, we have information, of course, like we said, about the community development, about what we're doing for the youth. If you have any suggestions, information, comments, concerns, or criticisms, we are there in person on Tuesdays from 3 to literally 10 o'clock. So, you know, the door is open. The door is open. Tell your friends, tell your family. If you need printed out copies of the flyers, let us know and we can get those arranged to you. But the effort is there, and we're all in. So I can't stress that enough, but I'm gonna stress that enough. So just keep that in mind, everybody. Race first. And like I said, if you need more information from me, I got my email is on the flyer. Like again, I'm there every Tuesday. So whatever you need from me, or whatever you have to suggest, like I said, I'm there on Tuesdays.
Okay. All right. It is 7:40. We will move as quickly as we can. I think there's one other officer, Brother Art. Did you have anything that you wanted to share from a secretary standpoint?
No, President John, everything has been said that I was going to cover.
We had secretary meeting this month, didn't we?
Not yet. I didn't get a notice about it.
Now we didn't have it because I thought that we because the President Duguay was out the country or something, so I thought we was moving out the energy of that. So,
well, no, that's first Wednesday is President's, and that got delayed. But I thought we had second Wednesday secretary meeting.
No, we didn't.
All right. So nothing that you wanted to share?
No, y'all covered everything about what I had. You had sent out the minutes for the last meeting.
Yes.
So I think everybody got that. So.
Yes. No, we did have a meeting. What y'all talking about? How y'all?
Huh?
So we did have a meeting.
Secretary meeting?
11/8. You were there, Brother Art, because you I think that's when you heard the report to me, and then you said, like, you know, later on you was asking questions about it, but you don't remember this one?
I sure don't, man.
I'm pretty sure you there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you there. But, all right.
Okay.
Any questions for our executive officers? Any other officers that did not get a chance to give a report? Okay. Thank you to our officers. And now we will move to our community portion. And as brothers, we should know we have to be good listeners. So we allow our sisters to speak first. Mama Nabantu, I think, had already requested to speak earlier. So we will allow her to share first. Mama Nabantu, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. All right. Thank you for this opportunity. I want to first also thank Division 421 for their help with the Collard Green Cultural Festival dealing with security, and in particular, Brother James, for his leadership in bringing brothers to help with the festival, as well as building a permanent stage on the Promised Land. So I just want to give that. There's a lot of background noise. I can't hear myself.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Ross, you got some background. If you can reduce it. Thank you, Mama Nabantu, and also thank you, Baba James, for.
I have two more.
Oh, go ahead, Mama Nabantu.
Oh, actually three. The second thing is that I want to invite you to add your Kwanzaa event at the Atlanta Kwanzaa Regional Association website, and that's the website is KwanzaaAssociation.org. If you go on it now, it's still saying 2023, but next week it'll have 2023 events taking place in the metro. So there'll be an opportunity to put your event on our website, association.org. And it's really hard to talk, the noise. But anyway, to get that information, you can add your event to the website, so people who the Kwanzaa the third thing is I want to invite Secretary General, Pan African Fellowship, and for the local movement here in Atlanta, a town hall January 7th, and it's called Seeing Top City Atlanta Schools in Africa, What is the Connection? And we'll have a panel discussion there. That's again January 27th at First African Church, 3 to 5. And also, there's going to be opportunity if UNIA wants to take a day at Black Wall Street during that Kwanzaa. The Kwanzaa is 6 days from Tuesday to that Sunday. So if there's a day that you would like to take in the word for the principle of the day, let me know, and I can put UNIA for one of those days. The first and the last day have been taken. And I guess that's it for now. I want to say gratitude to Kamau for the information. It was quite an eye opener for me. The historical information. And just one last little comment is that during the time that college was married with white women, there were no Black women in those schools that they were going. That's not to justify them, but the socialization with Black women was scarce. And that's the only thing they had was those white women in the house. So that's it. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Mama Nabantu. Okay, yeah, I think we got most of it. I shared the KwanzaaAssociation.org in the chat, and January 7th, First Baptist Church, 3 to 5. What was that event?
No, not January 7th. No, the town hall meeting for Cop City.
Okay,
is January 21st. January 27th. You're right. Okay. You got it right.
Okay, thank you, Mama Nabantu. Any questions, comments for Mama Nabantu? Okay, thank you again, Mama Nabantu, for being here with us. Were there any other sisters on the conference call, not on the Zoom, but on the conference line? Ross Marvin, is Mama Nabantu, she was the only sister on the conference line?
Okay, I'm checking real quick. Give me 1 second. And I'll let you know who's on the conference line so you know.
Okay.
As far as sisters, no, Sister Nabantu was the only sister that was on the conference. Oh, Sister Zafia is also on the conference line, Sister Zafia. And she's on the Zoom too.
She's on Zoom too. Okay. Sister Zafia, did you want to give your member share? Sister Zafia. Okay, we'll come back to Sister Zafia. We'll go to our next sister.
And President John,
yes,
you
sir.
should know that Brother Sean, promoter Louisiana, CBPM member 2892, he's on the conference line, and also Brother Omar Mukhtar from Cleveland, Ohio, member 2714 is also on the conference line.
Okay, we'll get to the brothers in just a second. We've got a few sisters on the Zoom.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go to our sisters on the Zoom. I believe the first sister I saw was Sister Bertha Rose. Sister Bertha Rose, are you there? Is there anything you wanted to share with the family?
Yes, I'm here. There isn't much I want to share. I'm happy to be on the meetings. I'm excited about them, and I will be contacting Ross Marvin to see if there's a way that I can help with the newsletter. Thank you for the work that you all have been doing.
Thank you, Sister Bertha Rose. And Sister Bertha Rose, were you at the event on the 18th at Akira's Cafe?
Yes, I was.
What did you think about? Was that your first time at an event with?
Yes. No, it wasn't my first time at a UNIA event, but it was my first time at that particular venue, and I really, really enjoyed it. In fact, I wanted to send them an email the following day and let them know how much I enjoyed the atmosphere there and the whole program. The youth, the food, everything was very, very, I'll be happy to attend another event there, even though it's a drive for me.
And how did you hear about that event? Did you hear about that from us? Or?
I heard about it from you on the last week, the last meeting. It was one of the events that you announced.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for supporting and coming out and attending and seeing what the things that we've talked about and also speaking on those things. So very much appreciated, my sister.
Thank you.
All right. So next sister, I'll just go to Queen Mother Moses. Queen Mother Moses, you ready? Queen Mother Moses, you there? Oh, she talking to somebody else. We'll come back to Queen Mother Moses. Sister Belinda.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you all so much for all the great work that you're doing. I really appreciate the presenters and the speaker and the presentation on tonight. I came on late, so critical of you guys changed the time. I wasn't really watching my emails that closely. But thank you so much for all the great things that you're doing. And I have a question for Brother Ross Marvin about my membership dues. I just need to know, I received the email saying that to pay the dues, but I wasn't sure if I had paid my dues for the year or if I still have to pay the $3 a month.
No. Yes, greetings, Sister Belinda. You paid your dues for the year already last month in October. I wonder what email did you receive? So if you can forward that back to the office so I can check that out, because I don't remember sending you an email for paying dues or anything, unless it might have been, you paid for the year for the CBPM, unless it might have been for the UNIA, you received something.
Okay, I'll double check. I just want to make sure I have clarity on that.
Exactly. We received your dues already for the year for the CBPM.
Okay. All right then. I'll check that email again. Thank you.
Yeah, check it and then reach back out to me when you get a chance.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Not a problem. Sister Belinda, your email is don't tell me. I'll tell you what we got. Belinda Brown LLD. Is that your email?
Yes.
Okay. So the email she's talking about, President Ross, is probably email from me. And it is let me just pull it up because I don't know exactly how I have it. Make sure I got it worded properly.
Now it's kind of coming back to me. I think that was in reference to you joining the UNIA. And you should know, Belinda, that the CBPM dues and the UNIA dues, because it's two different organizations, it's two different dues. So that might have been, since President John said he might have sent you something.
Okay, so the meeting that I'm in now, I'm still learning. I apologize for not knowing, but this is the UNIA meeting?
Yes, my sister. The UNIA and the CBPM, we work together. So that you know the schedule, the second and the fourth Sundays of each month is always UNIA, and the first and the third Sundays of each month is always CBPM meeting.
Okay, can you put that in an email so I can make sure I make the right meetings for now anyway, because this meeting was kind of difficult when I noticed that the time had changed. So maybe that's what the misunderstanding with me was. Okay, all right, thank you.
I can send it to you in notification. Everybody, we do not meet on the fifth Sunday, just the first 4 Sundays.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being here with us, Sister Belinda.
Race first.
Race first. Queen Mother Moses, you still not ready? Queen Mother Moses. All right, Sister Zafia, are you available? Zafia. Sister Shan.
I'm available. I'm just enjoying everything, and I want to thank you for all the good speakers that you brought in for the last couple of weeks. I really enjoyed them, and they were very informative, and I've learned a lot. Thank you, Brother John and Brother Ross Marvin. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Sister Shan. Yeah. These brothers, these are just some of the brothers. We got to get some sisters as well, but I've been trying to get these brothers on for quite some time, but everything works out in the proper timing. Our discussion with our Moorish brothers and sisters was right before Black Family Day, as well as right before our giving thanks. Discussion with our brother Kamau is right before the release of the film. So the timing works out from a availability standpoint, but we do have some more guests lined up, and we would like to be able to continue this. So we appreciate everyone's enthusiasm and their support. Were there any other sisters on the line before we went to our brothers? Any other sisters that did not get a chance to share? All sisters able to share. Last call for the sisters. Last call. Okay. Thank you, sisters, and thank you, brothers, for being patient. We will jump over to our brothers. First brother that's always on the call, even before me sometimes, Dr. Shams, member number 172 out of Brooklyn, New York.
Race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to ask, it looks like we need another presentation on sovereignty for several reasons. Some of us are not aware that what sovereignty is or how we are sovereign or anything else like that, even though it's written in the U.S. Constitution, it's written in international laws, it's written in indigenous rights, but yet our people fail to realize what it is and actually where we're coming from, what part of the documents that is. So I would like to ask for a presentation. Maybe I can help clear some of that up. You already have my website, if you're on Zoom and if you need it and you on landline conference call, you can ask me and I could let you know what it is straight away, but I don't want to repeat that because it's redundant. It's nerve-wracking too at times. for me and everybody else, I'm sure, to be hearing the same thing harped on time after time after time. Just please, if you have a chance, go look at the site, and if there's anything that can help you, please use it. And if you want to call me, my number is there, and I can verify my number being there through a critical scriptures page on the website itself. But I don't know. I'll say it one time. I will say the website one time for those who don't have it and like to have it, but is shy, scared, not really wanting to speak up. It is not helpful. USA legislations, people.bravesites.com. That's not helpful. USA legislations, people.bravesites.com. And my phone number where I can be reached, I'm going to give you my best number because my landline, I keep it disconnected. Scammers are always calling me every 5 minutes throughout the day and night, weekends. They don't let up. So I'm going to give you my best number that's not usually too busy. And that's 1-917-500-1699. That's 1-917-500-1699. Thank you very much. You're raised first.
Raised first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. Any questions, comments for Dr. Shams? Okay. All right. Next member that we have on the line, member number 459, Brother Brian in Riverdale, Georgia.
Yes, sir, brother. I'm sorry, what are we doing here?
Just member share, open opportunity for you can speak on anything, either a topic that we discussed earlier, or if it's an event going on in your community you'd like to promote, something you saw in the news that you feel our people should be aware of. Just your opportunity to share with the family.
Got you. Okay, now I just appreciate the work y'all putting in and the ability to build with the community and like-minded people. So I'm just thankful and soaking it all in.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Brian. We appreciate you being here with us. Let's see. Next, brother, I want to bring in Brother Stanley Scott. I saw you through up Jacksonville. How you doing, Brother Stanley?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Everybody? Yes. This is a fantastic opportunity. I'm with the African American Economic Recovery Think Tank. I'm a part of the family. And I like to say this. I know you say race first, but it's African first. And the reason why I'm saying that, we are all over the world.
Yes, sir.
And it's not about race that marginalize our people. We are Africans. We are a very powerful people, and we just need to organize, and this is a great time to organize, to be organizing at the end of the year. And we can make a lot of movements. Right now with us doing over $2 trillion a year, plus probably look more than that because people lie. And you know what people I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
But the point I like to make here, number one, I am elated that we are working together. I'm not worried about the numbers. The number will come because our people has been ready for over 5,000 years.
Yes, sir.
So we got a golden opportunity here to make an impact. So let's put the few people that we do have at the present time, let's work together. Everybody get in their position and get ready. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Brother Stanley, if you wouldn't mind, we're working on some things in regards to everything that you just said, in line with everything that you said, in specific, the trying to organize some things in Jacksonville. So I'd like to know if you're willing to share your contact information. We should have a meeting next Sunday to continue those discussions.
When it comes to my people, I am always available. I have resources. Yes, I have resources because often we assume that we don't have resources, and it's not always about money. Really, the intellectual capital that we have is not being used.
Yes, sir.
But I don't want to take up much time here because I know y'all I've been listening for a long time, and y'all doing a great job. But right now, before I go, I like to say organize, organize, organize at this point. Let's take the rest of this year and organize, and whatever you need, I can help you put it together. Like I say, I'm with the African American Economic Recovery Think Tank, which I'm gonna mean that you are part of my family and I'm part of your family. Let's get it done. Now,
Brother Stanley, how can I reach you? You got a cell number?
Yeah, been putting my numbers up and everything.
I see
Once you
email.
No, forget about that. We're a little more advanced than that. It's the @ AAERTT. Once you Google that, all the information you need will come up.
Okay, I got you. Thank you, my brother. Look forward to working with you very soon.
No, don't thank me. Let's get it done.
Yes, sir. Queen Mother Moses, are you available?
Greetings.
Greetings. You got anything for membership?
Membership. Race first, definitely. November, this is the month of coronation. We have our black prophet point us to a black God and King, and people don't ever forget that Marcus Garvey tell us that the white people have them white spectacle God, where them see, and the Chinese, if them go through them spectacles, let though it be, we Negroes have come to see our God through our own spectacles, but we shall worship our God through the spectacles of Ethiopia. So my people, make a worship the God of Ethiopia. Remember, we are and King James, Psalm 68, verse 4, tell us that the God of heaven had a name, even when earth never formed it. And the name of the God of heavens was Jah. I say rejoice before him. Who is him? His imperial majesty, her imperial majesty, mother, father, God. Well, I want black gods to rise up so we don't have those images that don't look like us. And something wrong, but it's not the Bible, because God saying black, and him hair is wool, and his skin is like brass burnt in fire. For all those words, I, the Empress Queen Mother Moses, give thanks. Race first, Africa first. Bless up.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Queen Mother Moses. Race first. Oh, sorry. I think we got one more brother on the Zoom, and then we'll go over to our conference line to close out the meeting. Brother Andrew. Greetings, Brother Andrew. You there? Brother Andrew, you there? Okay. Were there any brothers that did not get a chance to share on the Zoom before we move to our conference line? Last call, Zoom. Brothers on Zoom. Okay. President Ross, you said we got our brothers, Brother Sean and Brother Omar on the conference line?
Yes, President John.
Do you know who joined first, or they joined the same time? Does it matter? Probably don't matter.
I think Brother Sean was up there first, but it don't matter.
Go ahead, Brother Sean. You have the floor. Greetings, Brother Sean.
Greetings to the family. I ain't been on here in a minute, you know, because some things been going on, but, you know, I'm above ground and doing just fine. You know, I like to say, you know, it's sad that, you know, if you can't report no good news, you got to report some type of news, big bad. But here in the state of Louisiana, there's an increase in violent crime for as the youngsters, what they call the home invasion. While you at home, they just straight up kicking your front door in, coming in with assault weapons and robbing you. So that's the bad part about that. And with the youngsters, you try to talk to them, you know, like I said earlier, you talk to them about Marcus Garvey and, you know, here in the deep South, you know, they want to study, push the Martin Luther King syndrome on you, you know, little black boys holding little white girl hands, you know, and the youngsters, they ain't trying to hear none of that. They want to see some action. When they look back at their parents, grandparents, you know, they just want to see some action because all they see is talking. I'm 57 and I'm old enough to be most of them parent, father, and you know, I have to agree with them. I really do. I have to agree with them because I talk to brothers that's older than me that was, you know, during the 60s. They said what I'm talking about right now, that's what they was talking about in the 60s. So there is no, I mean, people might say there's a change. Change in what? That we got more athletes, millionaires, but there's nothing doing for the black community. So if the black community, you know, there's nothing for the black community, there's no change. You know, I look at it like this also too, that the African and Russia conference, when all the African leaders, you know, went over there to talk to Putin, they went in, you know, suits, neckties. But the brother Abraham Tory, he went suited and booted. I understood the message that he was saying. We doing a lot of talking. Those that was before us did the talking. And we gonna continue to talk. A lot of people want to vote for Trump. A lot of black people I talk to want to vote for Trump if he runs. Am I upset with him? I'm like in the middle on this situation. You vote for Trump, you know what's gonna happen. But look what we got Joe Biden in office right now, and look what we get. Everybody that comes here is getting some type of money from the government to get up on their feet. So we damn if we do, we damn if we don't. But like I said earlier, either we want freedom or we want liberty. Protesting, we get out there, we go vote. I don't know if voting, I don't even know if voting gonna do any good. Seriously, I really don't know. You know, I'm not saying that it's not gonna do no good. I just don't know. Because they're gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna put the people out there, like Brother Omar said in the early part of the year. You know, they give us the Democrat Party, they give us the Republican Party. What about the
Green? Sorry about that. Let me try to unmute.
Brother John, who is the brother that's talking from Louisiana, and what part of Louisiana is he from? I'm in Slidell.
He's in Shreveport. Ross Marvin, are you there? I put the phone down and walked away.
Is it any kind of way I can, by him being in Louisiana, can we like communicate with each other?
Yes, we would prefer you not provide your personal contact information. You could provide an email or business number. That would be preferred for our sisters.
Okay, I can put my business number in the chat then?
Yeah, he's on
Email?
he's on the conference line. No, he won't be able to see it, but I can make
Okay.
sure.
Okay, I can I give my business number?
Yes.
Okay, it's 985 503 0626.
985-503-0626.
That's correct. Thank you, Brother John.
Yes, ma'am. Ross Marvin, are you there? All right. Technical difficulties may shut down the meeting early. I don't know why I can't unmute him. Ask to start video, remove co-host permission. Move that. Make co-host. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we lost Brother Sean and Brother Omar. Unfortunately. So with that, haven't gotten any response, so we're gonna get ready to move to close. Anyone have any last words, last comments in closing?
Yes.
Go ahead, Brother Stanley.
People, we cannot waste all our time talking about our problem because we won't take out time for solutions. Let's stay solution-based. We can change our community. It's not a money problem, it's leadership problem. When you're spending $2 trillion, it's not about money, it's about leadership. Now, this is a good opportunity for us to come together. I don't care if it's two of us, come together and we can make an impact. Now, like you can pull up the think tank. We've been around a long time and we established. But we can put our 2 cents together and make an impact and reach out. We have a continent. We don't have a state. We don't have a country. We have a continent in Africa. We need to tap into it and do what we need to do. And I'm not going to take up any more time because I have love for everybody and time is valuable. But I like to say this. Don't waste all your time looking back. That's why the rear view mirror is small. Keep that in mind. There's a reason for that. So you can look at the big picture in front of you. Let's put our 2 cents together in the United States, connect with Africa, the Caribbean, wherever African Americans are, or Africans, sorry about that, Africans, and move forward. Thank you. Don't forget, I love you.
Yes, sir.
Brother John, I would like to unite with Brother Stanley. That is so true. You know, I really appreciate him making that statement or that comment at the end of the meeting, because that's the mindset that we need. And I just would like to say that I want to hopefully at the next meeting bring a project, something that I'm working on here in Louisiana, and share it with the group, because I think it's very important in where we're headed and what we need to do in order to help our people mindset, because it's one thing that I'm learning is that people are not going to do nothing until they see something. It's actually about action now. People, especially our young people, they need to see us doing something. They're not even going to listen to us until they see something that we're doing to help them and get them where they need to be when it comes to, freedom. I know we talked about freedom, liberation, self-sustainability, economics, resources. All of that is what they need, and that's what they're crying out for. So we've been letting them down. So it's just time for us to step it up. And I really would like to bring my project to the group and have you all help give me some insight and some ideas on what we can benefit from. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Belinda. And Brother Stanley did share his information at 7:53 in the chat. He shared his email and his link to his contact information. All right. Yes. All right. We getting ready to close out. Let's see. Lady President gone, everybody gone. Baba James, would you do us the honor of closing us out, please? Baba James, are you there?
Raise first, Brother John.
Raise first, family. It's Baba James. I want to say thank you again for bringing on the presenter for the movie Mosiah coming out. And I also like to encourage all members on the call to come out on Tuesdays, because we do need to take this opportunity to organize. Raise first.
Raise first. Dr. Shams, you were going to say something?
Yes, raise first. Brother Omar Mutar get a chance? I think he's on the conference line. I'm not sure.
He is, but Ross Marvin has the conference line open and he's stepped away. It looks like he stepped away. He's not unmuting his line. He had some feedback issues. I had to mute him. And now we can't unmute him. Ross Marvin, you there? So, yeah, technical difficulty on that one. Looks like Brother Omar is going to miss out this week. But I mean, I don't know. We've been doing Zoom for over 2 years now. It's like if I'm setting up a phone call and somebody's still waiting for a letter, we got to evolve with the times. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. But when you look at, what I will say is when you look at governments, even during COVID, governments were still functioning. And one of the ways in which they were functioning is through services like this. So if we can't use these services as other races and nations use them to build up our own government, we're wasting these resources. So I'll leave it at that. Baba James, if you could, please close us out.
Raise black fist in there. Please repeat after me. Africa.
Wait, one God first.
One God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Africa.
Africa.
For the Africans.
For the
Africans.
For the
Those at home.
Those at
home.
And those abroad.
And those abroad.
Raise first.
Raise
first. Africa first.
Africa first.
No, race first.
Race put us in the box. Now, I'm a subject matter expert when it comes to community development. When you go to race, you get into the white man. If you want to be in power, call yourself out. Yourself is Africans.
African.
We
That's
can
right.
talk about it later,